Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Hello, Bear. Been long
Hey!
since I talked to you.
You want to fuck with everybody and do the stream in French?
No, because we have other people with us.
Oh, Ontario's here. Never mind.
Yeah, Ontario is here. Now we can all trash talk about against Ontario.
Poutine.
So, what's good about Ontario, Justin?
Yeah, seriously.
Nothing. That's what I thought.
What? Oh, sorry, I was muting the stream on the other.
Oh, so what's good about Ontario?
We rule everything in the country.
No,
Yeah,
you
what Bear said.
Yeah, you roll everything in the country, but the country's going to shit. So how's that good?
It's actually not. It's not actually not Ontario that rules it. It's the Laurentian Club, which is Quebec elites and Ontario elites working together.
Well, now it's also like the old GTA. You know what?
Well,
Hello, Curtis.
A lot of them are there with their money, but it's still Quebec elites and Ontario elites. It's the Laurentian Club and they hate the West, so that's why they're fucking up Canada right now.
I'm just saying, I've lived in Riverdale for like 38 years. And I've still not met Betty or Veronica, and I'm really upset about that.
But Mr. Weatherby touched you inappropriately. We understand.
No, is that a thing in Archie?
No, Mr. Weatherby hasn't.
You ever watched the Netflix show about Archie?
No.
No? I'm surprised you didn't. That's gonna be a jam. No, you're watching like Buffy and shit like that.
Buffy's awesome. Don't you fucking shit on Buffy?
Yeah.
I never watched it.
Buffy was really well done. It was a really good show. I saw one episode of the Riverdale where they had their maple syrup. There's a whole maple syrup subplot where they tapped their trees on the first day of winter, and I just sat there going, Did no one do research on when you tap maple trees? Because it's in spring, not winter, you fucking idiots.
You can do it in the fall, but it's not as good.
No, it's bad.
Well, it's okay for cooking and shit like that. Hello, Rick. Nice seeing you. Walks in, walks out. Yeah. Well, that's the right approach. You say what? Oh, those fuck. I'm off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't be hanging out for long because I gotta go to bed. But so you can come back 28.
I never sleep, so.
Yeah, I don't sleep much either.
That's how you get the lizard brains, when you don't sleep.
Well, we gotta fucking fulfill our time somehow, right? So we delve into those conspiracy theory and shit like that. Yeah. What's your favorite conspiracy theory, Bear?
Mine?
Yeah.
Go to Justin. I'll show you. Hang on. Go to Justin. I'll be right back.
I don't know if I want to go to Justin, to be honest with that question.
Conspiracy theories are actually a conspiracy theory.
All the conspiracy theory are actually no, I think a lot of them are true.
Nah, they're all conspiracy theories.
No, man, okay. Conspiracy. We know like conspiracy theory exists. Like some people do conspire for something, right?
Yeah, but I'm talking about the batshit crazy ones, like the
batshit, like the flat Earth
moon and
they're not from the moon. What are people? They're not from the moon. They're interdimensional.
The archives of Akasha or whatever.
And they're just like
the Akashic records, but that's.
I don't fucking care, bro.
Hello, Curtis. Nice. Welcome. First time on my channel, and you're coming in sideways. Oh, there you go. Is that like a Mormon book?
No. So I bought my first copy of this book. I got for 25 cents before I got on a plane at a used bookstore just for something to read on the flight.
Mm-hmm.
Changed my fucking life. Later, I had a friend who's a 40. I think now he's a 42nd degree Mason or whatever the highest one is, other than the 43rd. 32. So he's 31. He's the one right before the one you got to go to Washington and be inducted at the Grand Lodge and all that shit. And I gave him the book to read. And he was like, it's a very interesting book. Shared it with some of his Masonic brothers. And they were like, yes, this is a very interesting book. And that was all they would say about it. It was like, this is very interesting. And nothing else. It was like, okay, that's fucking scary. They weren't going, yeah, this is bullshit or anything like that. No, it's a really good read.
What does it say?
Well, basically, the idea is the skinny of it is that he set out to, and it's really well researched, bibliographed, everything. He footnoted. He set out to investigate as a thesis project, essentially, why do humans go to war? Like, why do humans do this? What is the purpose of it, right? Mm-hmm. And as he got into it, he discovered what he called brotherhood societies, which were these societies that work behind the scenes in civilization, controlling us. And then as he went far back, he's like, And this is where it gets into the woo-woo. And these were the governors set up by the aliens that were here, in the ancient times. These were the humans. These serpent organizations were set up as to govern the humans.
Call those alien demons.
But he also says the aliens are gone, but the Brotherhood societies just keep going because that's what they know to do.
Call those alien demons, and I'm all in, right?
Well, there you go.
What about you, Curtis? What's your favorite conspiracy?
My favorite is this is gonna sound freaking hilarious. My favorite is we never landed on the moon. That one's my favorite because it's straight up wrong.
Oh, it's so easily debunked.
Yeah, but that's one's my favorite because it's like you guys followed the exactly wrong train of evidence.
Yeah, but it's a really fun one when you get into given all the empirical evidence, the moon doesn't exist. That's fun. When you get down, that's a fucking rabbit hole to go down.
I gotta admit, I'm kind of agnostic about the moon landing. Like, I'm not convinced either way. Like, yeah, maybe we did, but I'm not like strongly convinced either way. Like, I'm this kind of guy too. Like, I don't need to have like my knowledge cut and dry, like black and white. I'm okay living with saying, I don't know for sure, right? I might lean one way or the other, but I'm not totally convinced.
A point for the conspiracy theorists, though, is that a lot of the notes that was required that were taken in order to do all the calculations to get there and land there, like all that's lost because all that was handwritten on.
Oh no, we can't go back to the moon. We can't go back right now. We don't have the science. Like they've lost. They've literally NASA has admitted they've lost the ability to go to the moon somehow.
But that's because all that was on. Even when you hear talk about the going to Mars
practice, right? They haven't done the research or trained anybody to do the thing in so long that they'd have
all the people that knew how to do it, they're all retired or dead, and all of that was written on, like I said, sticky notes, notepads, that kind of thing. Like, because like back then you couldn't store a whole lot on computer systems because
that's not no excuse because you mimeograph everything and freaking put it into research folders.
Do you think it's weird how they broadcast a signal from the moon?
No.
Considering it was like 60s and stuff like that, like you need like a big ass equipment to broadcast a signal, a TV signal.
No,
they could forget it from the moon. No,
a Vietnam radio could do it. Not visually
from the moon. But and not visually. I don't know.
Not visually, but you could send a signal from the moon on a Vietnam radio to Earth. It'll take 2 minutes to get there, but it'll get there.
Do you think it's weird that we never went back after like a couple like a decade maybe? Like we never went back?
No, you have no idea. Like I actually did a paper in college about Apollo 13. Like the sheer shock value that whole disaster had on the public's appetite for that sort of thing, like was immense. Like all of a sudden, funding for space exploration just tanked.
Do you think it's weird that no other country went?
There were other politics involved besides that.
Yeah, but that was
the whole welfare.
Yeah.
No, it was the Vietnam War guys. This is legit.
Yeah.
All the money for NASA got taken and put into the Vietnam War.
But how come like Russia never went? How come like
exactly? How come?
Well, Russia lost because it got bankrupt, right?
Well, that was in the
80s, dude.
That was in the 80s.
That stuff was like it was already starting at that point.
No, all right. So the fucking Russians the Soviets were self-sufficient. They didn't need to import shit. So what they planned on was taking the Caspian Sea oil, running a pipeline out through Afghanistan, and then flooding the world with cheap oil to disrupt OPEC. As a result, they took all of their profits that they had and they pumped it into building the world's largest nuclear fleet. And then the Americans backed the Mujahideen to bog down Afghanistan, and that bankrupted the Russians. The Soviets, not the Russians, the Soviets.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of weird stuff about the... There's a lot of weird stuff about like the moon landing. Like for me, like the fact that we never went back, the fact that we lost this knowledge, it's kind of weird. Like it doesn't jive for me with the human nature.
Lost. It's that no one is trained in it, right? It's not institutional.
How long would it take, man? Fucking like a weekend? I guess I can learn how to go on the moon in a weekend.
Astrophysics.
All right, you first, Max. You go first, and we'll follow you.
Well, you can learn how to be a rigger for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, astrophysics as a proficiency degree takes 8 years. That was at least that was what I was quoted when I first wanted.
But the point is okay. Given it's been since the 70s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come on.
There's
even fucking American presidents since the 70s said, "Oh, we're gonna go back to the moon. We're gonna go back to the moon." Every fucking president make this promise, and we never fucking went back. Yeah. There's something weird there. There's definitely something weird about it.
Yeah. Hey, this isn't Legion. Can I eat?
Yes.
Do you mind? It's gonna make your ears weird. Good,
no. Yeah.
It's a combination of many things. It's social programs. It's getting lost to the forest for the trees because of the way American politics works. It's
I'm not saying I'm not convinced either way, but I do have questions.
No, I agree with that thing. I think Bear just said it's the lizard people why we can't go back. They're preventing us.
Well, that could be it as well. Like, they could have found something on the moon that was fucking weird and say, okay, we cannot go back there.
It's got nothing to do with the lizard people on the moon.
Hey, you might want to ask the Indians then, because they supposedly landed.
Wow, a probe.
They landed a probe.
Oh, yeah. It's an automated probe.
They actually did.
7-Eleven.
Yeah. Rick said my favorite conspiracy genre is really CIA. Yeah, he's our handler. He's there like to on a CIA program to identify proper role player.
In 6 months, that 7-Eleven will be completed, and it will have an Indian guy already working at it.
The what? Sorry.
The probe the Indians put on the moon. It's building the 7-Eleven.
It's fucking.
That's a stereotype.
Yeah.
That's straight up racist, is what it is.
It is.
That's like unfettered racism at that point.
It's allowed on this channel.
Apparently, I've heard.
Yeah, no, because they were talking about building a gas station, right? And some places 7-Elevens have gas stations.
For space, no, it's true. A gas station for space exploration. So you can build you can build ship in the space, and then they would get their energy on the moon.
Well, it's because there's a shit ton of helium-3 on the moon, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, helium-3.
Yeah.
And the issue with a lot of space exploration is everything has to be built on terra firma, and getting everything from Earth, from the surface of the planet up into outer space is actually very energy intensive.
Yeah,
it's very difficult.
I just I'm hearing my dogs. I fucking got into the cat food, motherfucker.
Got into the what?
In the cat food.
Cat food.
Yeah, I can hear him all upstairs fucking feasting. I just fed the cat.
You sure it isn't Bear?
No, he's eating. I see him on stream eating. What are you fucking eating?
He's
rice cake. Crispy mini. Oh, okay. No, that's not too bad.
They're whole grain, they're not, they're low absorption for glycemic insects, so it's nice.
Yeah,
it's one of the few crunchy things I can have.
Yeah,
I've been eating a lot of my goy stuff myself.
Baked instead of fried.
Because I don't I just move. I don't have a fridge. I don't have I have a mini fridge, but I don't have a stove. I only
Did you have Dixie Lee yet? Did you go have Dixie Lee yet?
Not yet.
Allons-y, man.
But it's fried chicken, you say?
But it's so good.
Yeah.
You have no fucking idea.
I'll try it.
It makes Kentucky Fried Chicken look like dog shit.
Wow, they always look like dog shit to me. But I like my roasted chicken. I'm not a big fan of the fried stuff, right?
Just try it.
I will. I'll trust you.
Yeah. Plus, you're in Richmond, which is considered to have one of the best ones on the coast.
Yeah, but I can't wait to be back to being able to do my own cooking, so I can have real food. Well, the Maxi,
food. Like I told you, the Maxi is managed by my sister.
Yeah, I went there today. Man, I found the cashier are rude. People are rude here. They swear a lot.
You're rude to speak.
Well, I'm rude, but I'm rude on stream. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm having a day job in retail, and I drop those hard swear word, right?
It's the coast, baby.
Yeah, thought it was something. It's kind of a cultural shock.
Yeah, wow.
I'm there 5 minutes at the cash, and the cashier drop 3 big swear word, right?
So you like rotisserie chicken, huh?
Yeah. I just had like a Portuguese chicken for dinner.
Do you ever in Montreal get a chance to go to Ramados?
Oh yeah,
Fuck, that was
that's
good.
the one on it's the island, right?
No, Montreal.
Oh, okay. Oh no, I thought there was a really good one, a really good Portuguese rotisserie on in the Milan.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
the
one.
name
Yeah,
something
it was
like
in Montreal in my land. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
Well,
good.
I used to work nearby there, so we'd go there sometime, or we'd take like those 2
The
hour
fucking
lunch break.
lines, man. The lines out the door, you know.
Yeah. But we'd leave early for that's why video game takes so long to develop.
Echo.
Yeah, it's
That's
on
Curtis.
purpose, I guess. Now on Firefox, no, is it? Oh, you're on Firefox? Is that
I'm
true?
on Firefox, yeah.
I don't know. I was getting an echo. It's weird. What's
Oh,
really fun about the astronauts is if you look at the interview with the first batch that came back, Apollo 11 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Look at the interview. Watch how they behave. They're not behaving like men who just, tamed the frontiers of space and made a giant leap forward. They look like seriously disturbed and upset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They saw something up there. I'm telling you. Like, there's enough pictures of weird shit on the moon that we've taken from Earth. And then there's all those NASA pictures where you have like these weird things on the horizon. They're like, well, that's a 1 mile tall square. You know?
Yeah, but is it like outside of your entire cultural frame of reference or woohoo? Yeah.
Look, until we go ourselves, we'll never know, right? But the thing is there's boulders that drift uphill on the fucking moon, which is really weird because it has gravity, not a lot of gravity, but enough that boulders shouldn't be able to go downhill and then fucking uphill, It's a weird fucking place. The surface rock on the moon is older than the deeper rock, which is the inverse of our world, right?
Well,
it's hollow, or at least it rings like it's hollow when it gets struck. They discovered that with the lander unit hitting it, and so they hit it with something bigger, and it not only reverberated, it got stronger as it passed through the core, which is only when something hollow should happen, right? Like, it's fucked up.
So hollow moon theory now. That's where we're at.
The moon does pick up something like 200 asteroids a day.
Yes, and none of the craters are any deeper than any of the others.
They're all the same depth.
They're all the same depth, which is really fucking weird.
Yeah, and you know what? There would be no life on Earth if there was no moon.
Well, there are actually ancient stories and tribal stories, and even the Romans had some stories about people talking about the Earth before the moon.
Yeah, that's true. I heard that as well.
So
which
that's
is
weird
interesting
shit too.
Yeah, but some people say that the moon was an asteroid that bounced off the Earth.
There's all those theories. It was formed from the Earth. It was a planet that collided with us, and none of them are proven. None of them are proven because there's older rock on the moon than there is on Earth. But they brought back.
Could it be rock picked up?
But it's very hard, though. It's very hard to date rock.
Except somehow NASA can. And there are isotopes. There are elements and isotopes found in moon rock that you can only create through artificial nuclear explosions.
Nice.
Like that we know of.
Well, that we know of. I mean, we're pretty good at the nukes. That's one of those ones we're pretty good at.
Yeah, but I put that reserve in there. Just
No, look, you can put all the reserves in there. It's like whenever I hear one of these idiots go, "Well, given the vast distances of space, there's no way aliens could reach Earth with the technology we understand."
Yeah.
But they've been around 1 billion years longer than us because they're further into the galaxy or something. Who fucking knows what technology they have,
There's actually a line of thought in science where you actually pass
the filters
into the fourth dimension.
Oh, what?
And then you can travel through the fourth dimension back into the third dimension.
Lizard people.
Yeah.
That's slip space or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's your wormholes and your drives.
That's not a wormhole thing. Wormholes just connect 2 points together.
Yeah.
That's completely
if you want to fuck with your head, remember there's no proof of dark matter. It's just a theory that everyone's still accepting, right?
Yeah.
Look into the electric universe. I got into that when I was reading up on that one. That's some freaky shit going on there.
What about the 8th dimension? What do you think? That's all like a fucking string theory shit. Like when you go like 11 dimension, but all of them is just like fucking.
Yeah.
Screw John Warford and the horse he rode in on. That's what I think of the 8th dimension. Sir.
I agree with you there.
Like, that's one of like the bizarre things that Alex Jones talks about is the interdimensional aliens, and it's like actually the best way to travel great intergalactic distances would be to travel interdimensionally.
Well, I'm Christian, right? I don't make no call about it. And I believe like there's like in different dimension, like I bet, but in the sense that there's a material dimension we're in, there's a spiritual dimension. Like demons and angels, they're spiritual being. They don't know like material being like we talk about. I think when people like say they contact those other dimension, I think that's actually what they come across with. But maybe that's a whole different topic.
Maybe.
And what Bear was saying about like oh, there's no proof for dark matter. It's just all theoretical. There's a lot of thing nowadays that science used to be like staple of science, and even like the theory of evolution through natural selection. People don't know that, but now like it's not as on solid ground as it used to be, because when it was developed, we didn't have like the knowledge of genetics that we have now. And now when we look at chromosomes and stuff like that, like there's some such thing as adaptation and evolution and stuff like that, but they cannot figure out speciation, because when an organism would go from to have like a different number of chromosomes basically, and they cannot crossbreed anymore. Like somebody could not like there's some human normally have like 23 pair of chromosome, right? There's some people that are born with 24 pair of chromosome. It's a genetic mutation, and it comes with a bunch of problems and stuff like that, and those people are sterile. They cannot reproduce. They could technically reproduce if they would find somebody else with the same genetic condition with a 24th pair of chromosome, but that never happened.
So you watched Prince of Darkness, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, you enjoyed it, as I recall.
Oh, yes, it was good. Yeah.
So one of my favorite lines in it is, from Job's friends insisting that the good are rewarded and the wicked are punished, to the scientists of the 1930s proving to their horror that the theorem that not everything can be proved, we've sought to impose order on the universe. But we've discovered something very surprising. While order does exist in the universe, it is not at all what we had in mind.
Nope.
And this is the cosmic horror of existence.
And its order is not the natural. It's not the natural order of things. Not the
no. It is, but not to our eyes. We see it as chaos.
Yeah.
But it's actually order. Well, but it's an order we can't understand because we're very linear beings.
I always like to say this example of like if you have like a cup of coffee and a little goblet of milk, right, and they're separated, you have order because like the coffee is all coffee and the milk is all milk, right? Once you mix both of them, then you have chaos because there's the milk mixing in the coffee and stuff like that. But at some point, the mixing even out, and now you have order again. It's just like it goes from. So
there's tons of experiments they did, like the light photons changing based on whether they were being observed or not. Like there's just tons of crazy shit that you don't need to get into God and aliens to describe. You can just deal with the raw science and go, what the fuck is going on in this universe?
Yeah.
The older I get, the more I'm starting to believe in simulation theory.
Well, that's something I find interesting. Simulation theory
scares me.
I found like very interesting simulation theory because like I work in video game, right?
Yeah.
And basically that's what in a way what we try to do. We try to create world. We make those open world game. We give like objective to people. We create like people in those worlds and stuff like that. But at some point, like if we were living in simulation, you see a lot of atheists believing in that. But like then you have a creator from outside the world. How is that fucking different than God? They're just like believing in God with extra step.
I believe the difference is in the intent.
What do you mean? It could be like a different God than we believed in.
Well,
but it'd still be like basically a God. He could do like everything he wants. He's just like,
Yeah, it doesn't give a shit about
you still like an external creator that created your world that is most likely omnipotent and omnipresent in that world. You see like those atheists, they ask question like trick question. Oh, if God is omnipotent, can he create a rock so heavy that he can what?
Well, I mean, as far as intent, as far as the good book tells us, God created our world from nothingness. Whereas
I don't remember that in Lord of the Rings.
Fair enough. But in simulation theory,
you should read the Silmarillion.
Yeah, exactly.
I read simulation.
No, but Curtis, listen. Okay, so
let me finish my thought first.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
In simulation theory, the world exists as part of a lie, if that makes sense. As part of a deception.
No, because that goes back to the different level of reality, the different layer of reality. Like I said, we have like this material world, which is what we know of. Like we know we're the flesh being, the table we touch, everything is material, right? And we admit that there's like this other world that is beyond the material, the spiritual world, right? The creator is a spiritual being, is outside the material world. If we're in a simulation, this other like spiritual world might be material as well, but for us it's the same thing. It's outside our reality. You know, when I create a video game, I'm outside the reality of the video game. I can control the video game, but like I'm not in the video game. I can create an avatar and go in there and do stuff and interact with the world, but I'm always outside in the same time, right?
But do you not see the irony of using the word avatar to describe it, which is the Hindu concept of how gods come to Earth?
Yeah. Yeah. But it could also be like the same thing. Like if you take Christ and stuff like that, like you could apply that the same logic to it, right?
Okay, so listen, I know you're Christian, so I'm not going to go too far down the rabbit hole with you because I don't want to offend you. It's just like with Brian, I won't go too far down the rabbit hole on Mormonism because I don't want to offend him, right? His beliefs, your beliefs, they're your beliefs. And it's not my job to challenge your beliefs. It's not my job to tell you you're wrong. That said, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, I've studied a lot of fucking religions in my quest for understanding, which has led me to agnosticism, in that no one knows. And that's the only thing you can know, is that no one knows for sure until the final, until you die. You'll find out when you die. And therefore, pushing people around because of your beliefs is a silly thing to do, right? I have no patience for religious fanaticism. I have no patience for people forcing other people to believe what they believe. That's nonsense, and it's puerile.
I think.
Therefore, any religion that based all of its existence on everybody must convert to our bullshit before we get our happy paradise is a bad religion.
Yeah.
Because it therefore forces you to go make other people believe what you believe.
But we don't believe that. Like
you did once upon a time, buddy. The Catholic Inquisition. What a show! The Inquisition. Here we go.
That oftentimes, like I don't want to offend you either, but a lot of those arguments come from ignorance. The Catholic Inquisition was because a lot of people, like the Jew, were being kicked out of Spain. A lot of Jews decided to like convert to Catholicism so they wouldn't be kicked out. But they weren't real conversion, and the Inquisition was about like seeing if those conversion was real or not, genuine or not. And the Inquisition wasn't as bad as what Hollywood, for some reason, make you think they are, right?
I'm sorry, I stopped listening because none of us were there, and we don't know.
We don't know.
We have conflicting records from the period, and certain people on one side say it wasn't as bad as you think, and other people say it was fucking horrible. We don't know what the truth is because we weren't
they had
there.
like fucking strict rules, right? And it was like a religious thing, and the people were like following those rules.
I'm not arguing, dude. I'm not arguing this one.
But what I was saying,
hey, did you know that Columbus was a converso?
Yeah, I do know.
Yeah, there's no evidence. Yeah. He was actually Jewish.
I just want to point out.
I think that's one of those things that they said.
I just want to point out 1,000 years from now, when they're digging up our remains, and they come across two sources. One comes from MSNBC, one comes from Alex Jones, and this is the only historical context they have. So they decide to input both into a historical record. I'm just saying, not everything from the past can be taken at face value.
I hate to break the news to you. If you actually break it down, Alex Jones has been right more times than MSNBC.
I'm just saying.
That's the terrifying part of it. It's like,
I'm just saying.
But I want to say one thing. When you watch Fox and CNN, they're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
I was atheist for a while because I was raised Church of England, and then I became atheist, and then I realized there is a higher power in this universe. There absolutely is a higher power in this universe. I see it around me. I see it in the things that go on, but I just refuse to accept any religion because religions are created by man.
I wanted to answer something about your earlier comment about being agnostic.
Taco Bell.
Oh man.
What was that, Max?
I wanted to about being agnostic. I'm not against agnosticism. I think you can be like a theist.
Oh, you know who's against me? The atheists.
Yeah.
The atheists don't like
fucking
agnostics.
religious
They
fanatic.
fucking hate us because we refuse to take a side.
Because
You want to be a religious fanatic?
It's not
You
refusing.
mean
It's
a
not refusing
fedora
to take a
wearing
side,
asshole?
Justin. It's not about refusing to take a side because agnosticism and atheism answer a different question. One is about, do you believe in God? Then you're either a theist or an atheist.
Yep.
The other is, do you know God is real? Then you're a Gnostic or an agnostic. So you can say, I believe in God, but I don't know He is real. You can say, I believe in God and I know He's real. You can say, I don't believe in God. You know, like there's different things.
I'm an agnostic theist. I believe there is a God. I don't believe in religion. That's my thing. I don't think religion has the answers. I think religion serves a purpose, but I don't think the real answer, and I don't think we can know the real answers until we find out at the end of the road.
Yes.
If you believe there's a God, that would make you a theist.
I said I'm an agnostic theist.
Yeah. But about like converting people, forcing, like I'm not for forcing people to believe what I believe, obviously, because I do believe in free will. And free will, like Christian, like I'm not a Protestant, right? Free will is a big fucking part. Sorry for that.
Okay. It's okay.
You know, you, like by the end of the stream, you won't. No, I'm kidding.
It's okay. It's okay.
Not by a choice of your own, but they'll kick you out.
Yeah. No. Because like free will is it's so important that God gave it to us. It gave us the choice to rebel, right? That's the whole fucking. That's a big fucking. It's the foundation myth of a religion. We're in the Garden of Eden, and it said there's this tree. Don't eat the apple. But you have you could have like make us like just fucking automaton that would do his will.
Now,
Mr. Max, have you read Sumerian creation myth?
No, I haven't.
Because all of that's there.
Yeah,
Abraham came out of Babylon.
I'm also not somebody that believe that like I believe the Bible is true. I'm not, because I'm not like a Protestant. I don't believe it's literally true. I think it's spiritually true, right? But I don't believe it's the only revelation that men had. I believe other religion add part of the revelation, and it's even in the Bible. You can see that because there's we have like in the Ancient Testament especially, we have the view from the Israelite, right? It's their retelling of the relationship with God. But even in the Bible, there's other people that are not Israelite that also have a relationship with this same God. So,
and they have to be
exterminated. It's their no, they're not. They're working together and they're making deal together. It's the revelation that that survived to us. But I don't believe it's the only revelation, and I would think that Sumerian maybe add part of the revelation as well.
So if I can finish what I was saying before you jumped all over it, the Sumerian origin myth is the book of Genesis.
Yeah,
it's all from Sumeria, but so you know when it says in the Bible they have eaten from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. We must stop them before they eat from the tree of life and become like unto us. God in the book of Genesis is very schizophrenic because sometimes he refers to himself in the plural and sometimes he refers to himself in the singular. But if you go back to the Sumerian origin point of these myths, it's multiple gods. And that's why it's all us, 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 us. But the point is, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because they're just stories written down trying to understand the world, trying to figure out how the world made sense. So they wrote stories.
And also, I think like we have this saying like by their fruits you'll know the tree, right? And you can look at the result. Like you look at the Mormon, right? They have like this very strict like look at the result of what he has on their life. Do they have better life from following those strict rules? I think they do, right?
No, some would disagree. Like that's the thing. There are many Mormons who have apostated.
Multiple wives. No, I'm kidding.
Multiple wives.
I'm kidding. I can't fucking get one. Like,
come on, Brian, get in here and fight him.
Yeah, it's because the Mormons took them all.
So Rune clearly does not understand what I'm saying, or is misinterpreting what I'm saying because he's accusing me of being putting secular humanism at the top and smug atheist junk. And I'm not a fucking atheist, and I'm not a secular humanist. I just don't think anybody has the answers, and we'll find out when we die. If you really want to know what I honestly believe, I'm at the point now where I believe we are an experiment created by a higher power to calculate an equation. The equation is the meaning. The equation is the meaning of life. And once we have that awareness, we will ascend, because it will cascade through the entire humanity, and we'll ascend to become like gods ourselves. So maybe I'm a little closer to the Mormons on that one, because they kind of believe they all get to be gods later. The point being, I do not believe that God gave me free will, but is all-knowing, all-seeing, all-powerful, but I can do shit God didn't predict. What the fuck are you talking about?
Let me tell you that.
Energy Cloud episode.
I'm sorry, what was that, Justin?
Didn't I see that episode of Star Trek?
Let me grab a random book there, right? Okay.
It's like every Energy Cloud episode.
What is that?
Pretty much.
Okay, I got this encyclopedia, right? Like it's
the illustrated what?
Encyclopedia, home library encyclopedia.
Okay, sure.
It's a very old one, so it's close to 100-year-old. So some of the knowledge
is probably more accurate than today.
I have in my hand a bunch of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
You can ask me what's on page 86 of this book. I have the knowledge available. I don't know on top of my head, but if I want, I can look it up, right? I think like the omniscience of God is kind of like that. He can know if you want, but he's entertained by the development of the thing. You want to see what's happening, right? So he doesn't necessarily have to go look it up.
So they say that when science gets over the mountain of truth, they will find that God was waiting there for them all along, right? But here's the difference. It's one thing, but faith and spiritualism is not and should never be conflated with religion. And that is my point, is that what your relationship is with the God you believe in is your fucking relationship with the God you believe in.
Yes.
Not an entirely bizarre set of dogmas and why does the Pope wear a fish hat and why can't we eat this on Friday and like just these weird rules.
Religion and ceremony is meant to create community, not
it was at one point in time, but then it just turned into oligarchic power.
So you want me to read you what's on page 86?
Sure, what's on page 86? Let's see what happens.
The backward peoples. In central part of Africa, where the Congo River runs through thick jungle, there are some very wild tribes of African Negroes who are among the most uncivilized people on earth. Some of them used to be cannibals before modern government put a stop to it.
See? Accurate. I saw that on the BBC. They were eating people. And that was just like a few years ago.
That's my nearly like 100 years old.
I can't even. Okay, I can't even. I celebrate religion only in that it gives us community, and religion provides community and a structure to build within. But
it doesn't even do that anymore.
Every human being has an obligation as a creature with, as you say, free will and thought, to question that which they were raised in and seek knowledge from outside to find what is truth for them. Then they will have their relationship with God. Yes. Not because an old man in a robe that stuck them in water when they were born told them this was their relationship with God. That's the only thing I'm saying. No. Again, not denying God, not denying faith, not denying spiritualism, giving the middle finger to religion.
Yeah. No, but I agree with you on a lot of that. Except with the giving the middle finger.
I'm not a fucking liberal, Rune. Jesus Christ.
No,
stop talking shit.
I'm not a liberal. He's a member of the NDP.
Christ almighty. I'm just so tired of if you don't fucking agree, you're a liberal all the time. This is the fucking argument I'm so sick of in our goddamn Western society. You don't agree with me, you're a commie. You don't agree with me, you're a fucking fascist. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I don't agree with you, and I resemble one of those
Justin. I'm going to stick my attack cat on you. Look, he's getting an attack position.
That would be like hate speech, bro.
Everybody's a liberal to me except Justin. So,
Justin, I want to know
you're
who
a liberal to
hurt
me,
Justin.
bro.
I want to know who hurt Justin.
Well,
you did.
Some clubs did.
I watched Masters of Horror. I saw.
Oh, we're doing a deep dive, are we? All right.
I saw you.
The thing about like
that sound you hear under your feet, Justin, is the ice cracking. Keep going.
Like here's what I say, Bear. I think you do.
I actually don't remember you in that show. But
I think like people say that, oh, if God is so great and he want us to believe in us, why does it just really reveal himself to us in a
Because then there's no
unquestionable
faith.
fashion? Exactly. Then there's no faith.
Yeah,
When there's
that I
certainty,
understand.
there's no faith, right? You have
Yeah.
to be able to, and the point of our life is to develop our spiritual being, right? Our spiritual self. So we need to be able to reach the faith, and because otherwise it's just like bring everything in, like, and that's the example I was saying earlier. Like one day atheists say, oh, if God is omnipotent, could he create a rock that so heavy he himself couldn't lift? And they say, oh, that's what's a catch up, because he's omnipotent, he should be able to create that rock. But that question is nonsensical, because you're asking something material
I wish for
of a
more
spiritual
witches.
being.
Well, okay, well, how about Epicurus? What about Epicurus?
What is Epicurus?
Hang on, I'll get it.
But the point I was
Always
saying is
around
like,
the wish
it's the same thing when I was working in video
Well,
game,
wishes
right?
thing.
If I could create a rock in the world, and I can set it away. I can set the weight fucking whatever I want, make it as heavy as I want, and the world is gonna react according to it. But I'm not part of that world, so it doesn't have a weight to me. You know what I mean?
So here's where you get into the philosophy versus religion argument, right?
Yeah.
And Epicurus said, "Is God willing to prevent evil but not able? Then he is not omnipotent. Is he able but not willing? Then he is malevolent. Is he both able and willing? Then whence cometh evil? If he is neither able nor willing, then why call him God?" So this is the problem we get into.
No.
Philosophy are questions that can never be answered. Okay. And religion are answers that can never be questioned. And when you're stuck in dogmatic thinking, you will fail. That you were given this brain. If you believe in God, you believe in a fucking crab, you believe in the turtle with the elephants. I don't care what you believe in. If you were created by a divine power and given the freedom of thought, to fall into dogmatic thinking is to deny the miracle of your creation.
But that's a very Protestant view, because like Catholic,
But is it wrong? Right? Like that's the question. Not that it's Protestant. Is it wrong?
Catholic we have a very different Catholic we have a very different view of things, because like we do acknowledge like that brain, that God's give you this brain
Fair.
to use it. You know, we need to use our brain, to use a reason to understand the world better,
I'm
to
not
understand
cool
the
with
creation
usury,
better,
bro.
and to understand not usury, use, and to usury is evil, and to understand the creation and understand God better, right? That's why we were given this brain.
Yeah,
and
well,
Santa Maria Aquinas said that
not to put words in Bear's mouth.
let me finish. Santa
You know
Maria
you can
Aquinas,
mute them.
yeah, Santa Maria Aquinas said, if our understanding of the world through science and like that come into conflict with Scripture, our understanding of Scripture is that we misunderstood Scripture. You know?
I agree.
That's the Catholic view. That's
No, it's not.
very
That is the ideal of the Catholic view, but it is not the practiced Catholic view, and that is the
because
problem I will always have with religion.
Because
All
I don't
religion-
it's not
okay,
a problem with religion. It's people with people. People are morons.
because that's what
People are
religion is.
stupid.
Religion is the creation of people to try and understand God. So Sikhism. Have you ever read the Living Guru? Have you ever read it?
Yeah.
No caste, no race, no gender, no
don't agree with
class. Okay, it
I used to agree
specifically
with that, but I
says
don't anymore.
all people are fucking equal. I dated a Punjabi Sikh for 9 years. She was not equal as a woman. She was not allowed to date outside of her community, etc., 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 because humans got involved with the idea.
Yeah.
So religion is a creation of humans.
But that's
Faith
the thing.
is belief in God.
People are not equal, though. So already, like, they're wrong on that.
Jesus Christ.
It's true.
It's not equal to, okay, here's where you're doing the bullshit argument now. Because when they say all men are created equal, they're not saying equal ability.
No.
They're saying we are all created equal in the eyes of God. We are the same to
we
God.
all have the same value. We all
Hi,
have
RPG Grandma.
And we all have our place in the world. We have like our role to fulfill, you know? The world's a stage, and every people have his role to play.
Okay,
right?
Shakespeare is a fucking weirdo, but I love his writing.
Yeah, I do too, actually. But
If Shakespeare was a philosopher, like that's the problem. So a lot of his writings is philosophical, and that's okay. Look, philosophers love
great.
to think there are eventual answers for everything, but just like religious people, they eventually fall into schools of thought. They're Platonic, they're fucking Nietzschean, they're whatever they are. They fall into a school, and once they fall into that school, it colors how they perceive the world around them, and it always will. Same thing for religion. As a Catholic, you perceive the world the way you perceive it as a Catholic. Curtis, if you don't mind asking, what is your denomination?
Officially, it's Baptist, but technically on my dog tags it says no denom.
Okay, so but you were raised Baptist, right?
Yes.
So that's gonna break down how you interact with the Bible and how you interpret things. Calvinists are gonna think about things a certain way. Unitarians are gonna think about things a certain way. I'm trying to think of other philosophers. Kant, people who are into Kant are gonna think of things a different way. That's where the dogma and the indoctrination comes in, and that's my problem. Dogma and indoctrination prevent actual thought and discovery because they get in the way and they say, well, we have an answer. Here's your answer. You don't need to think about it anymore. No. You think you have the answer, but I need to do a little more exploring on my end to see if that's the right answer or not.
Yeah.
And that's the point I was going to get into about like not wasting your brain, right? Like you were saying, God gave you your brain, you should be using it, not just.
And we say like when we say like why did God create a human, like the typical, like if we go like in the Baltimore Catechism, like and they like the fucking basic book that you when you want to become like the answer that is given, like what did God create people is for him to love, but also for us to understand him and to relate to him.
Sure.
That's part of it. You know, it's not like blind obeisance. Say it for me, Bear.
You're a psychic. You can do it.
I'm not having obeisance. Obedience.
Obedience. Thank you. I'm a few whiskey in now, so.
I don't think.
So you're half drunk, I'm half tired, and here we are arguing about shit we can never get the true answers to. This is brilliant.
Well, like that's in the description. I didn't expect it to go into the old religious stuff, but that's the description. Like, it's bring your own topic, and let's hang out a bit while I get.
Listen,
drunk,
motherfucker, your karma ran over my dogma. Okay, that's all we need to know.
Yeah, but and. So I'm not an advocate for like blind obedience.
Yeah.
And obedience. And I believe like you should like answer those questions. I think like, and that's the thing. You look at those people like that are very like one track mind, right? And they say like, oh, this is what the scriptures say, and you just believe that. And I'm not questioning and stuff like that. You're not using the brain that God gave you. We have this whole fucking line of Catholic thinker and philosopher, and like they go very deep, and they go like people like to laugh at Catholicism, say, oh, they ask question about how many angels can dance of the pin of the knee. Like that's fucking bullshit. That's not what people.
No, but you know what my favorite is the evangelicals that shit on the Big Bang Theory. And they forget that it was a Catholic fucking priest that invented that theory. Like, it's just insane. This is my problem with modern religion is nobody reads. Everybody just believes the shit that's told to them by the people they listen to.
Yeah,
and as
exactly.
a result of not reading and not looking into it for themselves, they never find truth.
And it's soundbite. I used to be an atheist, right? Until I fucking delve into it and say, oh, man, like all those things I thought that, religion is so dumb and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Actually, like there's fucking smart people in there.
Yeah.
All those fucking objections I had, those like gut shot that I had, those things have been addressed for like hundreds of years.
Well,
but
it's the same. I'm sorry. I'm going to take umbrage with that on one level because a lot of the answers are the same way when you criticize Islam and the answers that Islamic will give you, which is just basically, well, no, but God. Well, yeah, but no, but God. Well, you cannot argue. You can't dismiss my argument against God by saying God exists. That's not a counterpoint.
Islam has a very different
contradiction.
Islam has a very different view on things because Islam, like the fucking word Islam is submission.
Yes.
It's not. That's not what Christians.
So when you do it with the DP echo voice, it's like God speaking through you now. It's awesome. Woohoo! Muad'Dib.
I'm just gonna want to like our RPG dad was saying. I'm a right-leaning centrist. I'm agnostic myself. I just live the best I can. If I'm judged at the end of and accept my judgment, that's a healthy way to live. True. Like that's what I try to live. I try to live the best life I can.
Yeah.
I try to live according to You know, I often say like that goes back to when I say like by the fruits you judge a tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
I say like look at just take the 10 Commandments because something we're familiar with. If you were to live your life according to those 10 Commandments, you would get out of a lot of trouble. You'll probably have a completely different life, right? We got those rule book. It's not the end all be all. There's other things you should do and stuff like that. But like, is there one that you say like, oh, that's stupid, you shouldn't do
Okay,
that?
so hang on. Let me ask you a question then. Sorry, I just got to ask this question. I'm not trying to play the atheist gotcha game, but you bring up the 10 Commandments. So you believe those were given to Moses by God on the top of Mount Sinai, right?
Yes, twice.
But you also know that previous to that, they existed as the rules of the schools of magic in Egypt. Where Moses happened to have been educated as a boy.
Oh. Yeah.
You see that?
So this
you
is
see
the
where
problem.
I got there?
This is the problem. When you write this, yes, I see it. It's very beautiful. It's a beautiful caduceus. When
you know what? Like I used to be an Hermeticism.
It's Hermes Trismegistus. You ever read about him? He's fun.
Yeah.
But my point is that at one point, with the ignorance of the uneducatedness before pre-Renaissance,
but
people would believe these stories because they didn't know that there were origin sources for their stories. Now we can see where a lot of these origin sources come from. So that's why I'm saying we move away from the Bible as a provable document and look at it as a continuation of a conversation that was started by earlier civilizations.
I already recognized that the Bible was not the only revelation.
Yes.
So why are you bringing that to me?
No, I'm just saying because you believe that God gave Moses the 10 Commandments when they existed before then in the schools of magic.
The fact that God gave those 10 Commandments to Moses doesn't mean that they didn't exist before. Like it's not. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean like that. That's the story that we have. It doesn't mean that God didn't give them to somebody else before. We know
but here's the thing: they didn't say God gave them to them. They were just the rules they wrote down. Okay, here's an easier one for you. Here's an easier one. Noah built an ark, right, because of a flood and all this great stuff. Except that's the story from Gilgamesh in Sumeria that was brought over to the Middle East, or brought out of the Mesopotamia.
And also, like I told you, I believe the Bible is spiritually true, not literally true.
Okay,
like I'm able to make
that's fair.
Yeah.
So in Protestantism, there's a thing called a red letter Christian. Do you know what a red letter Christian is?
I heard the term, but I'm not.
So when you pick up King James Bible, a lot of what Jesus says, specifically the quotes of Jesus, are in red ink.
Yeah.
So red letter Christians don't believe most of it, but they believe only in the red lettering of these were the words of Jesus, therefore they are the truth. Okay. Yeah. So I have a friend who's a red letter Christian. I'm like, okay, that's awesome, you know? And then I have friends who are Old Testament Christians, and I always go, well, you can't be. And they go, why? Because the New Testament was created as the new covenant between man and God. It's in your fucking holy book, so nothing from the Old Testament counts anymore because we made the New Testament as the new arrangement with God through Jesus. Therefore, you can't bring up shit from the book of Leviticus anymore. You can't bring up the 10 Commandments anymore because that's all shit. That's Old Testament. That's the old covenant.
But let me ask you something, Bear, like, because you kind of like a sneaker or whatever. Like when I say like, if you were to live by the 10 Commandments,
I'd get a kick out of the 10 Commandments because they're so fucking misinterpreted so many times.
But I agree with that. But if you were to live by the 10 Commandments, like whatever you want to put in them, like, you know, they're kind of like pretty good kind of life guide, right? Because a lot of people like we have like shitty life, we made those mistakes, like, and we often are the architect of our own misery. Would you disagree with that? And it's because like, you know, we got given this, and you can say it come from God, you can say it come from old wisdom, like because you know there's also this thing, tradition is the distillation of wisdom, is the thing that work that have been passed down. You know, we've tried things that didn't work, it fucking died. But the thing that we've been doing for thousands of years are the thing that work. And we have this thing, and we want to disregard it. We want to do our own way. That's dumb, that's old-fashioned, stuff like that. And then we make our own choice in life. We go away from what people did before, and then we make ourselves miserable.
Sure. That is the free will that was given to us then.
Exactly. That is
the free will, the ability to do this, and then find our happiness through God.
And it kind of takes a certain form of wisdom of saying, you know what, I might not understand it, and that's also like humility in some way. When sometimes I see something coming from in the Bible,
the Shadow said,
I don't understand. Oh,
howdy, folks! Hope you're all having a great evening. Yeah, we're debating creation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hello, Shadow. When I sometimes like there's some passage in the Bible that I see, that I struggle with. I don't agree
Mhm.
with. You know, I'm a
Mhm.
violent guy, so when I see like turn the other cheek and stuff like that, it's hard for me. But then I say, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna humble myself and think I'm not smarter I'm not smarter than all the people that came like thousands of years before me. And I say maybe they had a point that I just don't get. So I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna follow it.
Mhm.
And I think if you do that, usually it leads to good result.
So, buddy boy, you know I love you. You know I think the world of you. You're like a brother. I love the shit out of you, but you have something on your body that denies you access to the kingdom of heaven, according to the book of
Yeah,
Leviticus.
I know.
You know,
I know.
so here's the thing: you either are going to believe in the musty tales of desert people as a way to live your life and try and figure out why they couldn't eat pork, but Vikings can. So, there's all these little contradictions. So I have a hard time living my life by the tenets of desert dwellers because my people weren't from a desert and I don't currently
Well,
live in a fucking desert,
that's
right?
also where we have the New
But
Testament.
but there are moralities we can take from their lessons, just like there are moralities in Shintoism, Buddhism, Confucianism, Hinduism, Sikhism, Jainism, everything. There's moralities to be ever. And you know my theory. Every religion has at least one piece of the puzzle, but as a result of them believing so hard in that one piece of truth, they believe all the rest of their bullshit's true.
And also, I have to tell you something, Bear, about like you say, like, oh, I got something on my body that we can deny me access to heaven. My belief in God has nothing to do with if I don't think I'm gonna get to heaven, to be honest, because I'm a fucking sinner. I'm awful. I'm in a lot of way, right?
Well, I don't
Everybody
know.
knows
The
that.
Catholics gave you a great escape clause, which is on the day of judgment. As long as you accept Jesus in your heart as your savior, you will go to heaven.
Not for Catholics. Not for Catholics. We have a higher standard than that. But we do have purgatory, which may be what I'm gonna end up.
We all go
But
to purgatory, dude. We all
there's
go
a
to
good chance I'm
purgatory when
gonna
we
end up there.
die. We all go to purgatory when we die, and we stay there until Judgment Day.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Because
So
I'm
we
not.
have to wait for
I
that.
don't live in a state of grace. I'm not in a state of grace.
No,
I don't
God,
lie
no.
about
You
it.
know.
No. Oh no, I'm not. I'm not. But you know what I was saying about that. But that's the thing. Like, I see a lot of people say like, oh, like what this fucking religion say that I'm gonna go to hell, that I don't live a good life, that I'm not a good person. That's religion is bullshit. That's not me. That's not me. I say like this religion says I'm gonna go to hell. This religion says I'm not a good person. Fuck man, they're right. I need to be better. That's my approach to it. Curtis, you haven't spoken in a while. I'd like to hear what you have to say about it, since you're a Protestant and stuff
I
like that.
don't know. I got a book that says "Don't misbehave." We got that same concept in every single other religion. Probably sounds like a good idea. Just do the best I can to not misbehave. Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Follow those rules. See what happens. See if it improve your life in general.
Anyway, listen. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter because we're not going to know until we die. Like, dude, I told you I was
No, we're not gonna know until we die.
confirmed. I was confirmed in the Catholic Church because the Anglican Church wouldn't let us be confirmed until we were older. So my mother got us confirmed Catholic, so I can actually be buried in a Catholic cemetery. There's paperwork showing that.
You have to be baptized in Catholic church first.
I think it's okay. I
How
think
early
it's
did
just
she
as
think
long as
you were going to die?
doesn't matter. Dude, I grew up in the country. Children died. That was the nature of growing up in the country.
Yeah.
Many children died. And you were baptized as quickly as possible so you could be buried in church grounds. And my mother wanted us confirmed Catholic so we could be buried anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it was done, and it was fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I just don't partake of religion. It's just as simple as that. It's not. I don't give a fuck what your religion is. That's your business, man. You go hard, but the minute you start killing other people for your god, you need to fucking check yourself. That's all I say.
Yeah, that's something I like. I didn't kill anybody in like years, so.
It's been a minute.
We're solving all the mystery of the universe tonight. That's when it's done, and then we can move on with our life. It's gonna be over.
Anyway, can we move on to another topic for the love of Jesus?
Yeah,
my brother in Jesus, can we move on?
A question that hasn't been answered is not unanswerable. It's just unanswered presently. I agree with that. And the only hope of answering is by continuing to ask questions.
And that is the philosophical view of the universe.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I'm a very philosophical guy. I'm a very religious guy, but I'm also a very philosophical guy. I don't think the two are in opposition.
Now, I would like to see Bear give us a video on his interpretations of the Ten Commandments.
My
like to
interpretations of the Ten Commandments? What do you
I'd
mean?
like to
Why?
see
Why
Bear
that?
do his
You
video
said
on
they've been
D&D
misinterpreted so
finally.
many times.
You'd like to see my... Oh, hang on.
Oh,
What was that, Curtis?
I'd like to see your video on D&D that you've been talking about for
I
the
know,
past 2
right?
weeks.
Maybe tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
We'll see.
No.
So
Less people talk about D&D, the better. I
What-
agree
why?
with your video
Why? I
earlier.
want to know why.
because Justin enjoys being a contrarian.
Yeah. Well, no, Bear put out a video yesterday, because it's after midnight now, saying the less people give attention to WotC and
Wizards of the Coast, yes.
yeah. And that would be the people who make D&D today.
But why is
so-
D&D inseparable from Wizards of the Coast?
Because they currently own it, and since
They don't own first. Well, technically they own first edition, but they don't
Yeah,
do
they
anything
own
with
it.
first edition.
They own all the editions, but it
They
doesn't.
own all
No,
the-
actually, they put it in the Creative Commons, so fuck them. We own it now.
And since Hasbro never lets IP go ever, it's never going to change hands. So,
Never say never.
well, the company will have to go out of business, or it'll go into public domain.
Okay, and
That's the only way that's going to happen.
no, you're complaining about something that I don't know.
So,
Anyway,
Giving
my-
Brian say Adam felt that men might be and men are that they might have joy. I think they could have joy in the Garden of Eden, but maybe not.
Gay
Maybe
guys
they
seem
need-
pretty happy.
maybe they need to know. Maybe we need
Well-
to know pain and suffering to know joy.
So, do you believe in
Is-
Lilith?
What? No.
Do you believe in
Well,
Lilith?
yeah, but if,
I do,
I don't know. I don't know. I'm agnostic about that. I mean,
There you go. So-
I'm not a huge fan of
So
Beast
someone
of
asked
Biden.
about the Book of Enoch, and I think the Book of Enoch is fucking fascinating.
oh man, I love the Book of Enoch.
It's fascinating. So this is the other reason I have a problem with the Bible is the Book of the Council of Nicaea, right? Where they took all the Christian texts and decided what was good, what was bad, and it's like, no,
Well,
that's
that-
bad.
No, but that's also a difference that we have with because you've been raised mostly Protestant, right? But that's the difference we have like with Catholicism. We say that we're not sola scriptura, so we say that some books are not part of the Bible. It doesn't mean that the book are not canon. Like that's what I mean, like not part of the Bible.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they're not true. It doesn't mean that they're not real. It's mean that they're not just included in the Bible. They're not going to be used in the liturgy of the church and of the mass and stuff like that. But they're still they can still be true. They can still be real. They can still be studied. They're not just part of the Bible.
No one hedges their bets like organized Christianity. I know.
Exactly. We're
Kings of hedging their bets.
But it's the same thing. It's the same thing because like Catholic, we have a bigger Bible than Protestant, right?
Really?
Yeah, we have 7 more books than the
Yes,
Protestant.
I know.
And the Orthodox have a bigger Bible than us, right? But between us and the Orthodox, it doesn't matter because we're not sola scriptura. We don't rely on the Bible alone. We also have the divine tradition. So the book that the Orthodox include in the Bible, we still have access to them. We can still study them. We still reckon them as true. So like when the Orthodox try to own us, like, oh yeah, but we have like a bigger Bible than this. Yeah, so what?
Hey, Curtis, we almost got onto D&D. We were almost there, buddy. We almost changed the
Story.
tide. We almost changed the tide to something other than religion, but nope.
Still here.
Like GM Codex is the Quizak at the rack. I don't know what I was referring to because I'm behind now on chat.
That's
I'm not
Dune.
gonna do
My
I called you Muad'Dib.
Yeah.
I called you Muad'Dib.
Oh, yeah.
earlier.
I know what Dune is, but I wanted to say about that. Like when I was a lad, every day when I come back from
For the
school,
Book of Enoch, pal.
every day when I was coming back from school, I would watch the David Lynch Dune movie
Oh,
like-
every day.
every day. I might be autistic. That's the kind of thing people do. That's the kind of thing we do.
The more times you watch the movie, it doesn't count as reading the book, bro.
I read the book many times as well. I only
For
like the
he
first
is
book.
the Kwisatz Haderach.
Yeah, and that honestly, that book and that movie,
Wow.
that's one book that influenced my life a lot. Yeah.
Shai Hulud, baby. Shai
Brian
Hulud.
said it's a book of another testament. Yeah, that's this one we don't.
You know what? I'm really starting to believe as I get older that we're going to find out on Judgment Day the Mormons were right, and we're all going to be like, "What the fuck?"
But that's
No,
like I think they're right about a lot of stuff.
you're gonna walk up to the gate and they're gonna ask you for your copy of the Orange Catholic Bible, and if you don't have it,
Ay, ay.
about the Book of Enoch. Yeah, I love the Book of Enoch. We talk about
You
that.
Zen Sunni weirdo.
Oh, look at that! Look at that fucking Black Lodge game. Like wrong, not Catholicism.
Not Catholicism. He was talking about me. It was me about accepting Jesus as your savior, which is really evangelical. He was right. I'm tired.
Yeah.
The evangelicals get that.
Well,
in
it
your head.
depends.
Okay, so
What
that's
one
that's
is it,
wrong
Bert
for
or
you.
Ernie?
That was coming from me.
No, it was for me, buddy. It was for me.
Wait, Black Lodge, are you? I know, like Matt is a mix, so maybe he's Catholic, and Nick is Italian, so maybe he's Catholic as well. Or is Black Lodge game a Catholic organization? We need to know the answer.
Can we all agree though that the Jesuits are evil? Can we just
Yes.
at least agree on that
Yes.
shit?
I don't recognize the Jesuit as Catholic, to be honest.
They are fucking vicious.
I think they've been excommunicated,
On the
and I
scale
think
of
they
like
should have been brought back.
atheists, how vicious are we talking? Like, are they more vicious than atheists or less?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
they are.
Yes,
They
yeah.
are.
Do
They are,
yourself
because
do yourself
they're-
the favor, Curtis, of reading into Jesuit atrocity throughout time and history. The Jesuits are fucking pieces of shit at the end
Well,
of
it's
the day.
also like the Jesuit all like is their spirit of all the liberalism that is introduced into the church, right? Every fucking reform.
They are
is
the
about that.
true NDP.
Yeah.
So is there
Yeah.
a
That's for
Jesuit
you, Bear.
Yeah, just
pipeline?
you, you think Black
Oh,
Lodge?
back when I was a young
Okay.
man,
There's a chance.
the leader of the NDP was a guy named Ed Broadbent. And Norm Macdonald had this really great bit where he was trying to explain Canadian politics to Americans. He goes, you have to understand, it's like a classroom. And the teacher has said, what is 5 plus 3? And the liberals have gotten up and they've said, well, we look at the question of 5 plus 3 and we need to ask ourselves, what is 5? What is 3? And is it what Canadians need at the end of the day to have the 5 plus the 3? Or must we look outside of the 5 plus for 3 to find the answers that will benefit Canadians? And then the conservatives stand up and they go, we all know that my respected opponent in the Liberal Party has said that 5 plus 3 is 8, but I want to know, where was he on the day of the long division? And in the back, Ed Broadbent's going, the answer is 8. And that's exactly what Canadian politics were for about 20 fucking years. Then Jack Layton died, and the NDP went to shit overnight.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Overnight, they went to
The
shit.
NDP started saying it's not 8, it's 9, maybe it's 12. It
No,
could be
it's what it
14.
wants. It's 5.
It's
The
whatever
5
you
is what the
feel it
5
to be.
chooses to be, and the 3 is what the 3 chooses to be, and together they are what they are. They are diverse. That's
Man,
what
oh,
the
yeah.
NDP.
it's again a
My
fucking
team.
Canadian stream tonight, except for Curtis. Curtis, you're not
Yeah.
Canadian, are you?
No,
No,
he's in Montana.
no.
Wyoming.
Oh my God! You
Missouri.
did
Missouri.
Missouri,
He's in
Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah, close
Oh,
enough.
man.
It's just,
You're in one of
Are
those
we
big fucking mostly empty states. What do you want
We
to say?
can put
I
them
was
both
about
into
to say,
Ontario.
I was about
that's
to say, oh man, Montana. I made a game about Montana, so I know quite a bit about Montana.
But he's not. He's from Missouri.
Skyrim
Missouri.
5, and then you said Wyoming. I said, oh, Wyoming. I have a woman in Wyoming, so I know quite a
Yeah,
bit
it's
about
just-
Wyoming. But then
it's
you
just
said
every-
Missouri. I got nothing in Missouri.
All you need to know is the motto
That's
of
okay.
Missouri is the show me state.
The show me state,
Yeah,
Missouri.
like show me. If you want me to believe something, show me the answer. Show me the proof. That's the motto of Missouri.
Hmm.
I just like when they call it Missouri. It sounds so much better.
Missouri.
Missouri, the Missouri territory.
I just hate calling it Missouri because it sounds like misery, and it's like it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. That's funny. Missouri. I'm gonna call it that now.
There's
I live in a country that is raped by the Jesuits. Shadow. They are evil.
Yeah. Well, and the current pope is Jesuit, so the current pope is just
Yeah,
Jesuit.
if you want the
there is no pope.
if you want the fast
Yeah,
and
I
loose,
agree with that.
if you want the fast and loose explanation of Missouri,
Don't I have a
there's
shit with
there's
the
the
pope?
state of Missouri. There's I-70 that goes from St. Louis to Kansas City. It is like the transit hub through the Midwest, right? Everything north of it is corn. Everything south of it is cattle. The end.
Corn and cows, baby. Corn and cows.
Yeah. Well, I like cows. I'm not a big fan of corn.
I don't know. Corn on the cob with a nice steak sounds good right now.
Yeah,
It's good.
A
but
lot of butter.
I don't really digest it too well, so
Who digests corn?
Mesoamericans.
exactly.
Do
Native.
they actually
Yeah.
digest it?
Yeah, they do.
Impressive.
Yeah, for me,
But-
just like
But they're not so good on the wheat grain stuff. That's
Yeah.
where they're not so good.
For me, I just like in the milk. I just shit it all. It come from the can or the core on the cob, right? I love the taste of
We
it.
could have gone the entire night without you saying that.
Yeah, seriously. Maybe that's why you don't like corn on the cob, because you're lathering it with shit. Try lathering it with butter. See how that works out.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a novel idea. That's why I went those streams.
So let's talk about something that isn't religious and contentious. How about that, guys? Come on.
Okay.
Have you watched this show before?
Trust me, this is a far less contentious topic than D&D.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen. Let's get off the divisionary religion. And what's your favorite edition of D&D?
The fact that Dungeons and
Where is
Dragons
my
become
pitchford?
more
Good sir.
divisive than religion is just hysterical.
Oh,
to me.
dude, watching fucking nerds argue about D&D editions the way, like religiously, it's really funny, man.
Well, I have a theory about that. Obviously, I have a theory about it.
Shadow wants to join us, and apparently he wants to preach us.
Oh, well, I was channeling, man. I put the link
It's
back
not
in the
Sunday yet. Come on, man.
Yeah. There, I put the link. I put the link in the fucking
Motherfuckers, I gotta go to bed. It's 12:30, man. I gotta get up at 5:30. I'm like fucked. Thank God.
Technically,
get up at 5:30, man. Fuck's sake, man.
Yeah, well, I'm old.
This is when I usually wake up.
Yeah, that's when Golden Corral opens up the buffet.
That is not why I wake up at this early, but okay.
Yeah, I've never been to
No,
Golden Corral. I've never. Every time I've gone to the States, I've always wanted to just check out Golden Corral to see what the fuck it's like, because you hear all these jokes about it. I've always wanted to go see it. Or what's the other one? Country Garden Buffet. That's the other big one that you get in the States.
We used to have a Golden Corral here.
You guys still in Ontario have my favorite thing. You have the Mandarin, which is fuck. Those are good.
I love the basement room where you can eat all the exotic animals like dog and
what?
Stuff.
Oh,
well, one of them got busted for having.
Oh, I get it. Justin is doing a racist joke. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
No, a few years ago, one of them actually got shut down.
Wait, shut up.
Shadow's son has come to teach us the enlightenment of the Jesuits, apparently.
Fucking Jack, welcome.
Hey, Jack.
Yep.
You got a cross bigger than mine on the neck too, motherfucker.
Bear, go to bed.
All are you, Jack, now?
3 a.m. again.
No, I'm locking beans out of my room, man.
Do I need to check my language? How are you doing, man? Welcome.
I'm doing pretty good. I was about to watch a movie of sorts until I heard some heresy.
Yeah.
Yeah. First, it was the idea that the Council of Nicaea was some sort of power grab. It wasn't. There were only 3 bishops that sided against it. And the ideas preached by Arius were explicitly unbiblical. Jesus said that, quote, I and the Father are one, but yet Arius was saying that no, that's actually not true. He is simply a creation of the Father, which only 2 other people agreed with him, and those 3 were kicked out because they refused to repent of their heresy, which it is a serious heresy, because the whole point of Christianity is the Trinity, where God became man, God the Son became man in Jesus and died for our sins. So if he was just a creation, then if he was just some lesser creation, then we're basically we might as well just become Muslim, because that's what the Quran teaches anyways.
Yeah. I mean, begotten, not created.
Exactly that, but.
Yeah, but
begotten, not created.
Don't the Muslims believe Jesus got to God's hand before anyone else?
Just because they like Jesus doesn't mean they believe in the same God as us. They're still Islam is still a Christian heresy.
Yeah.
What's your denomination that you're speaking from, if you don't mind my asking?
Catholic.
Okay, cool. Because the Pentecostal deny the Trinity, right?
I didn't think I would hear the word heresy said unironically today.
As do the Church of Latter-day Saints also deny the Trinity.
Yeah, the Mormons are heretics. I didn't know that the official Pentecostal church denied the Trinity.
Well, it's the oneness Pentecostal. It's a subsect of the Pentecostal, but there are Protestant groups that deny the Trinity, because they look at the final words of Jesus of Father, why have thou forsaken me, and go, why would he talk to himself? It makes no sense.
Well,
but beyond that, may I say, because you're gonna put me straight to hell for the next thing I say, and I'm okay with that. Okay. Jesus was not anything. He was a fucking guy. He may even be an amalgamation of different guys at the time running around in the period, because we have no proof. And don't quote Josephus, because Josephus has been disproven. There is no proof of Jesus's existence outside of biblical text, and that's a big problem.
That's not true though, because the
Here we go.
the
Romans do not have any documentation of Jesus.
Yeah,
they have a documentation of a Jewish uprising at the time, but they do not have documentation of someone named Jesus Christ.
They should have done a better job putting that uprising down. That's all I'm saying.
Because
we haven't have archaeological evidence.
Not only that, but just because the texts of the apostles were compiled into a religious book doesn't mean they aren't trustworthy.
They weren't even written by the apostles. They were written decades later.
Yeah, maybe a century later, maybe.
Yeah. So how can we trust them to be accurate depictions of anything when they contradict themselves within their own apostles?
They don't.
They do.
They do.
Not really.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John have contradiction within them.
If you're talking about...
Yeah, go ahead, Jack.
Sorry, Jack.
There are things that you can call contradictions if you don't look too deep into them, like when I forgot which one, I think it was Matthew, says don't call no man father, but then Paul calls people father and teacher and stuff several times. But that discrepancy can easily just be when Jesus says don't call any man father, master, or teacher. He's not saying if you say that somebody is your dad, or if you say that somebody is a master or a teacher, that's some sort of blasphemous heresy. What he's saying is don't call anyone else God.
Yeah, listen, okay. I will not continue this conversation unless we can agree to one thing. This does not mean we cannot be friends if we disagree.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
My point is this, and is simply this, and I will always maintain this point. We were not there. We did not see it. We are stuck with the words of various people who may not have been the people that are identified as the writers. And every Catholic hates me when I say this. Paul did not meet Jesus. Saul of Tarsus did not meet Jesus on the road to Damascus. He met a fucking demon, and he built the Catholic Church out of that demon thing.
It did admit, like that's fucking awful, man. That's fucking awful.
It's fun. Come on, it's just fun to poke the bear a little bit. Come on, relax, Catholics.
Why would
you poke yourself?
Have a fucking sense of humor, you Catholics. Jesus Christ.
I'm a big Paul's respecter.
You know, I had someone unsubscribe for me because I say Jesus Christ, and I'm like, I'm a maritimer. That's what we say. Yeah. We got it from the Irish. We carried it over. And I literally had a guy tell me, well, you know, I can't subscribe to you anymore because you use the Lord God's name in vain. I'm like, that's not using the Lord God's name in vain. Invoking him for non-purpose is, at least how Church of England sees it, is using the name in vain.
Look
right?
at that, man. Fucking Black Lodge Games say Paul is the enemy in my opinion. Lol.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Backlodge Games. Thank you, someone who's fucking listening. I need
to know what one is it, Bert or Ernie?
Paul as the that's I would guess that would be Matt. So like Ginger Fraser.
Okay.
Like Paul got the best fucking quote in the Bible, and like I fucking love Paul. He's
Paul is really one of the best.
Yeah,
he is a perfect example of someone coming to redemption through Christ.
I can't trust anyone named Paul. I saw the movie; it was terrible.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Justin!
He used to be named Saul. Okay, just think of it as that.
That's worse.
That's worse.
Better call Saul.
It is worse.
No, listen. At the end of the day,
sorry, Jack. Oh man, all this thing about like women shouldn't be teaching in the church, and don't fear death because like Christ redeemed our sin through his death, through his resurrection. Like all those like fucking best passage are from Paul. Like all this Paul's fight, Jack. Paul's
because if I want to slowly subvert you and bring you over to evil, I'm not going to say, "Hey, eat this baby." I'm going to find ways to make you think what I'm saying is the truth, and then slowly through the fucking doctrine and traditions that I'm going to introduce to you, like the Black Madonna and all that fun shit. Oh, now you're slowly taking yourself away from God by putting the church ahead of God. Never forget, in Rome, who's worshipped more in Rome by the Roman people? In Italy, is it Jesus or is it the saints?
It's Jesus. We don't worship
the saints. Go to Italy.
No, it's not.
Dude, I have Italian friends that have explained it to me at length. You go to Italy, there are more shrines to saints than there are to Jesus.
There's
Italians are huge on saints.
We revere the saints. We don't worship them.
You're a fucking French Roman Catholic. It's not the same. That's the problem. There's a difference between Roman Catholic and French Roman Catholic. There is a difference.
Well,
forget, at one point in time, they were two separate churches. What?
So Jack is Mexican, and there's like they have the Santa area there where
Well,
they
yeah,
worship
they've got the
saint.
Spanish Catholic going on there. That's a whole.
Yeah,
other...
the Catholic Church
Yeah.
in Mexico has condemned Santeria several times, and
Have they?
some of them
Good, because
But have they
Santeria is fucking
done the decent
crazy.
thing
Go
and sent
nuts.
people with pitchforks?
What?
Have they established a Mexican Inquisition? Huh?
There you
Yes
go,
or
Bear.
no?
You're being fucking called on like trusting Italian. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I didn't say trust Italians. I said the
Some people-
Italians are more into saints than they are into Jesus, and that's the
Some
weird
could
part
say the
about
same
being
thing
there.
about-
No, it's because we ask the saints to intervene on our
You're
behalf.
not an Italian. Stop
Jesus.
saying we like you're from Italy, Max. You're not
Yeah,
Italian.
I
Hey,
get to
I
see
had
that.
pizza yesterday, man. What's...
All right, fine. I had tacos last week. Jack, can I be Mexican?
Sure, yeah.
Thanks.
As
Arriba la raza!
a person who's a quarter Italian, I affirm what Mr. Max said. He had pizza. It counts.
Oh my
What
God.
are you, his fucking lawyer all of a sudden?
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
Yeah,
All of a
kiss his
sudden.
lawyer.
Go ahead, Jack.
I'm half Anglo. That sort of counts.
What's the other half? Dog?
French,
No, quarter
Belgian,
Italian, quarter French.
French,
Belgian? Half
No,
Belgian?
French. Where's
Or
Belgian?
French? Was it Belgian or French?
French.
What's the
Where's
family
Belgian?
name?
Parisien.
What's
My
the family
family,
name?
my father's last name was Parisien.
Oh, Jesus
my
Wait, hold
mother's
Christ.
on.
was important.
This is a perfect
Wow,
example
I
of
can
what
just
we do
smell
with
the
saints.
arrogance from that last name. Holy cow.
Go ahead,
No
Jack.
man comes to the Father except through me. So why are you asking the saints to intervene?
Have you
instead of
ever
Christ?
asked someone to pray for you?
Yeah.
Like
Me,
ever
never.
once in your life?
I've had people
No,
offer, and I've always said, go right ahead and have a good time, but I've never asked someone to pray for
No,
me.
gaming with ADHD. Have you ever asked someone to pray for you?
He's Mormon,
like-
sir.
He's Mormon?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just that's a bit of pre-knowledge before you go rushing.
Oh,
into
no,
head.
no.
All right, but he's also kind of a friend, so.
And, yeah, and
Yeah,
he's
no.
good shit.
I'm just saying this is a good.
So if
this
it's
is a,
free-
And
if
I've
we're
also
good
told him
opportunity-
I will convert to Mormonism if he finds me a hot Mormon wife. So there we go.
So if
No, what I'm
always a good
saying
policy
is-
to
What if
have.
You sure you said you should start? Why just one?
What if we just treated the saints as like legendary D&D characters? Would that be okay?
So Saint Christopher was what a 12th level ranger? What?
Something like that, yeah. I mean that counts for me.
Well,
It gets complicated, and it's always going to get complicated because humans are involved in it, right? And we have to keep that in mind at all times. So your belief in Scripture is your belief in Scripture. Your belief in doctrine is your belief in doctrine. But we do have to accept that there have been some moves made by almost every religion on the planet that makes the true faithful go, "What the fuck?" every now and then. That
Oh
you
yeah,
have to look at.
absolutely.
And the Jesuits are the top of that fucking pile for the Catholic Church.
Oh, you went.
Even
yeah. For the
Jack,
for,
you wanted
for
to defend
Christianity,
fucking
I'd say.
Jesuit?
Sorry, what was that?
You wanted to defend Jesuit, Jack?
what I wanted to do was defend the Pope, because if you're Catholic, you cannot say that there is no Pope or that Pope Francis is a heretic, because it has always been Catholic doctrine that the Holy Spirit will protect the Pope from preaching heresy.
This is what I think. Like personally, there is no current pope. There's a pretender on the fucking
no.
chair,
Here's the thing.
right? The Vatican is.
Give me
is
one thing Pope
corrupt?
Francis has said that is liberal or heretical.
Support of LGBTQ plus.
He does not support LGBTQ.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought
like,
you did.
Yeah.
I got to say the one thing though. The press make Pope Francis sound much more liberal than he actually is. If you
Yeah.
go to the source,
But he doesn't
he's
disabuse
much
it.
more. It's much more like it doesn't go as far as what the press make it sound in translation and through like they take one little statement, like he might say like God still love the LGBT people, which is true.
Mhm.
But then they make it like they make a mountain out of molehill
Yeah.
all the time, right?
God,
So, like,
God still loves those
You have to remember, people.
locking his
press-
door when they come by.
You have to remember, people. The press is the enemy of the people.
Yeah, always has.
On
been.
that, we can agree.
Oh,
From
I
what
did
it's
put
worth.
that quote that saying I made. I did put that on a shirt.
Okay, cool.
Hey, remember, Justin, you saying that the Pope is actually there's no Pope, he's a false Pope, he's a liberal heretic. Just remember that
I think that they've all been so in the last 100 years.
Jack also learned not to take Justin too seriously because he trolls
I
hard.
know.
He trolls hard.
I was like a Benedict 16
But there's always a solid treatment, I say.
Benedict, no, Ratzinger or whatever the fuck his name was. That guy was
Benedict
terrible.
16.
German dude?
No, I like
the Hitler Youth Pope. Yeah, what a great guy.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? There's only one member of the Hitler Youth I never liked, and she was Prime Minister of Germany.
Yeah, Merkel.
Yeah, we can agree. I don't like her.
Yeah, I don't know.
She was
like
communist youth.
Merkel? Yeah, of course she was. No, she was. Yeah, she was. Yeah.
I don't know much about her history. All I know is I do not like her.
Clowns to the left
that was like our best phase of her life.
She was the most loyal to the state at that time.
I know, like Benedict 16 was a very good pope. I loved him. I liked him a lot.
You loved him.
Yeah, I loved him. I don't agree. I don't think he stopped being pope when he said I'm moving away. So that's an issue there. I don't think you can move away from being pope.
He protected pedophiles, and that's why he had to step down. Sir.
It didn't protect pedophiles.
He transferred them to other parishes. It's documented.
No. You got that all wrong.
Okay.
The big scandal, like I'm telling you that, Bear. The big scandal of the pedophile being transferred from the church, from parish to parish, happened under Ratzinger, because Ratzinger stopped protecting them and he exposed them. He let the truth come out. That's why, like, during his papacy, there was all those big scandal. People say, like, oh, this papacy was tainted by scandal. It was tainted by scandal because he saw that as wrong and he stopped doing the protection.
Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger, the future Pope and Archbishop in Munich at the time, was copied on a memo that informed him that a priest whom he had approved sending to therapy in 1980 to overcome pedophilia would be returned to pastoral work within days of beginning psychiatric treatment. This was before he was Pope. He was on documents, and it has been proven that he did these things. It is not a debate. This is fact.
No. When he became Pope, why do you think those big scandals got exposed when he?
Because he had to when he became Pope to basically clean his own ass. Because
No.
Okay, all right.
That's the thing. When Francis became Pope, this thing went back under the blanket.
I agree.
When Benedict was Pope, and especially with Vigano, as is like a right-hand man, they exposed a lot of scandal, a lot of like a sexual scandal, because he wanted to see the end of it, and it could be also like once he became Pope, he changes his view on it because he got enlightened by the Holy Spirit. That's something we believe in, right? We have to consider it as well. Maybe like he got it as Pope, and then say like, man, we need to stop that. But like the pedophilia in the Catholic Church was being attacked, was being addressed under Ratzinger, is stopped being addressed under Francis.
That doesn't forgive him as cardinal for doing the things he did. And he lied and said he had no knowledge of the pedophilia within the church, yet there are documentations that he has been memoed on showing it.
We're all human.
No. The Pope doesn't get to be human. The Pope has to be better. The Pope has to hold themselves to a higher standard of truth, honesty, and morality because they are God's messenger on earth.
He wasn't Pope then.
No, but that's the point, is he should never have been Pope because he lied when he was a cardinal. He lied. Isn't that in the 10 commandments we were talking about earlier? The false witness bullshit, right?
Yeah, but we all are sinner. Find me a man that doesn't lie. Find me a man that doesn't lie.
This is now circular arguing.
Yeah. Well, it is, but like that's the thing. We have to work with what we got, right? You got to piss with the
all the cardinals, the lying guy who protected pedophiles was the best choice for Pope.
All the ones before and after
he wasn't
still
the best,
doing it.
Was it the best? What does it mean being the best candidate for being Pope?
I don't know, because they burn some shit and we look at the color of smoke, and that tells us who's in charge.
It means somebody that the other.
Wait, I just saw smoke.
But it also means somebody that the other cardinal will be willing to vote for, right? It's still a human institution. There is flaws, right? But
Yeah,
the thing is that you have to look what during his papacy what he did, and also like there was like this big scandal with the Italian mafia of like money laundering and stuff like that got exposed. The fucking church lost billions in that.
So hang on, there's a good point. Black Lodge Games just made a good point, which is out of the Cardinals, he may have been objectively the best choice, which then talks to the deeper roots of corruption within the Catholic Church.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's my point. That's the point I've been making since the start of all this shit, is that religion is broken, faith is not.
But also, like, if you believe in God, you also have to believe in the devil. And the devil is always actively trying to corrupt the institution. I want to hear from
the Catholic Church.
If you're a faithful person, you need to repair your church.
Justin, is your name Curtis now?
Oh, sorry.
I would just like to remind everyone the Dalai Lama still has not been allowed to meet his successor yet. Just saying.
The Dalai Lama is also a pedophile, so there's that thing.
The Dalai Lama's weird. I don't know. I don't like him.
Like people don't know about like Tibetan Buddhism has very little to do with Buddhism. The Tibetan monk, they call themselves like the Buddhist as a political move a few hundred years ago, but Tibetans are basically like satanic. They eat, they're cannibal, they are a cannibal cult, they do pedophilia, they use human slavery. The Tibet was autarky, like leading, like it was very like a caste system with the monk having total control about the people under them. Every people that were not monk living in Tibet were basically slave. So people look at Dalai Lama like, oh, look at this guy, he's a freedom fighter. No, he's not. He's a fucking piece of shit. They're cannibal. They have sex slave. They're authoritarian regime. So remember that.
Oh,
when are you and Xi Jinping having lunch?
I'm waiting for him to for the check to clear first.
Yeah, because that's all the shit they say about them too. So that works out well.
Well, it's they're not wrong on that.
I would like to.
I have no knowledge on that. I have no proof to deny or confirm. So I have no skin in that argument.
I'm basically the same way. I don't like the Dalai Lama or Buddhism for that matter, but I don't know what. I don't really have any knowledge on that.
You know who I don't like, and boy, this gets me in a lot of trouble. Mother Teresa.
Oh,
I'm kind of torn on there.
The fact that she believed the only way to get to God was through suffering, which was her division or sect of the church. So all that money she took in, and she just put people on mats in a room and did nothing to help them other than keep them until they die. It's like horrific. It's horrific.
There's a reason she was made a saint. They had what was it, Richard Dawkins? The way that the church canonizes someone as a saint is they do everything in their power to prove that they weren't. They hired what was, I think it was either Richard Dawkins or one of the other new atheist guys to investigate her entire life. And even he who despised her, openly still despises her, came forward and said, I can't find anything that would make her not a saint.
But I thought you had to do 3 miracles after your death.
No.
Yeah, people had already...
Before you die, you have to...
No. It's after death, the miracles for canonization, isn't it?
No.
Yeah, no, I thought it was after...
It's after death.
I've always heard before, but...
Well, I'm going to find out.
Yeah. I am pretty sure it is after that. What it has to be is people need to pray to you, or pray as in ask you to pray to them, or pray for them.
She's also like a modern saint, like I was okay with her being like a beatified, but turning into a saint was too soon.
Oh, the Pope may waive. There's a little caveat. The Pope may waive these conditions.
That's bullshit.
Hey, Fair, I would like to amend my statement earlier. Addition wars make more sense than religion does.
Yeah.
Mr. Max is like, I'm debating on Mother Teresa. On the one side, she's the same, but the other, she's a woman.
Fair.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Fair. Fair.
Yeah, no, but I because I I'm not a big I'm not a pussy, I think suffering has a purpose.
Yeah, we all got that. You don't even like them.
No, I don't believe in hell, so I'm good.
I love pussy, man. What do you think about it? It's the best part of woman. Sorry, Jack.
Well, that was a little off base.
Also fair. Go to bed.
No, I'm awake and I'm in this now. You can go to bed now. I'm going to think of 5 more arguments. Then want to come back and be like, another fucking thing, Max.
Oh,
You know,
you gotta come back to the stream.
no,
What?
no, he
telling
did
you.
not.
No, he
He
did not.
did not.
Yeah.
Ooh, can we get into the Clintons? Because that'll be fun.
Oh dear.
We can, of course.
If we
can.
do,
Go ahead,
half
Bear.
of us will be dead by morning.
Speaking of
Yeah, I don't.
on
The
Earth,
Clintons are totally all right.
No, 'cause
I
we've
mean,
never
the-
been part
The
of their
Clintons did
campaign.
nothing wrong.
Hillary,
I deny
Hillary was
everything.
robbed.
Listen, guy.
I
Aren't you ready to die? Do you live your life fearing death? What is wrong with you guys? You're
just
fucking
don't want
men.
to be killed by the freaking
Bear.
Clintons.
You don't have children, Bear. Are you ready to die?
Motherfucker, on the day I
What
was
about-
born, the Norns drew out the thread of my life and cut it, and I will die when my thread runs out, and I can go and hide in a hole for the rest of my days, but I cannot
Yeah.
avoid the day of my death because I'm a Viking, sir.
Stop fearing death. Exactly. Like that. Yeah, exactly. Like
Dude,
fucking
I fear
fearing death.
gastric
Are you?
malfunction.
What are you? Fucking woman? We're all guys here on the fucking stream. Go ahead, Curtis. Are you afraid to die?
No, I fear gastric malfunction more than death. Come on.
Yes.
That's fair.
Of the
That's
two
very-
certainties in life, I fear taxes more than I fear death.
Yeah, well, man. Yeah, that's worse. It's fucking worse.
I
At
do-
least when
I
I'm
do
die,
spend
I'm
a lot
gonna
of
be
time
really left
avoiding
alone.
taxes.
You know what I learned? I learned people are so disturbed by the concept of death. One of the places I used to work, when everyone would say to me, "How you doing today?" I'd go, "Still alive."
Yeah.
And then one day, my boss took me aside. He goes, "Can you stop doing that?" And I went, "Why?" He goes, "Well, it's uncomfortable." I went, "What? The fact that I'm still alive is uncomfortable?" And he's like, "Well, no, but just the way you say it, it's like, it's uncomfortable. Maybe just say I'm fine or something like that." And I'm like, "Wow, man, that says way more about you than it ever will about me." You know?
Is that on the previous stream that I say, like, like every fucking day I wake up, I didn't die in my sleep, day ruined.
You consider that day a failure? Yeah, exactly. Because you're a pussy who won't face death with his eyes open like a Klingon.
No, man. No, man.
No Stovokor for you, and I hate to break the news to you. You, Patach, will sail in the White Fleet, and I will kill you 1,000 times when I sail with the Black Fleet.
No, man. When I'm
Now,
too sick
you
of it,
see,
I'm
Mr. Max
gonna
understood
go
all that.
fucking suicide by cops. That's my
No,
way.
Mr. Boivin knows exactly what I'm talking about because he has climbed the steps of Stovokor, and he has touched the batleth of Kalis the Undying.
I know what you're talking about. It's not because I'm a Star Trek fan.
You're a big fucking Trek nerd, Boivin. You just hate to
biggest
admit it
one
because
on
it's
the
not
stream.
cool. It's not cool to be into the Star Trekkies for the nerd.
That's why he's polishing his pocket protector right now.
I'm still surprised at how much data he can retain for something he dislikes.
I'll tell you right now. I think
can
Grandma
get
has a
all
really
data
good
for
point.
everything.
You see what she says? Why do dudes think women fear death more than men? I don't, because I knew my mother, and my mother did not fear fucking death. I'm telling you, that woman.
All right.
she had-
My
she
mother-
had
my
no
mother-
fear of
My
death.
mother's been through 3 childbirths. Trust me, there are things worse than death.
My mother fucking
getting
fears
kicked in the
death. But
testicles.
she's not right with God, so that's why.
Well, Rune, if you think Star Trek
I'm
is
not-
pretty
I'm not-
cringe,
I'm
to be
not-
honest, and you think I'm a leftist individualist, then clearly we can't be friends, and that's okay, man.
And-
That's okay.
I
Well,
gotta do
compared
something.
to me.
I don't believe that. I don't necessarily believe that women fear death more than men, but I think that men should fear death less than women should. Men should be ready for death.
I think the
Because
death
that's
rate
a role.
amongst the human race is 100%, so no one should fear death because it's inevitable.
Yeah.
But,
It's going to happen.
there are
That doesn't
some
mean you
things
should
that
go
are
out and
worth
try and
dying
embrace
for.
it, but you should certainly not be like, afraid of it happening because it's gonna happen.
Yeah, and all I'm saying
Yeah.
is by talking negatively about the Clintons, you're embracing death.
So if you
Yeah.
do business with the Clinton Foundation, you have an 800% increased chance of dying by suicide. How fucked up is that?
There-
I'm just saying, you will die from a parachute accident.
You will
at ever
commit
going skydiving.
suicide by somehow shooting yourself in the back of the head with a shotgun.
Twice.
Or hanging yourself and then shooting yourself in the chest with a shotgun.
And then falling on a dagger that's coated in
And then-
poison.
And then falling on a dagger. Poison.
yeah.
So, what is one thing that you?
I didn't know he ever
that
went scuba
you think
diving.
is worth dying for?
What, something I think's worth dying for?
Yeah.
Protection of others.
Not doing business with the Clintons.
Well,
That's for sure.
That's like a catch-22. You die for doing business with Bill Clinton, or you die for not doing. No, something you would give your life away.
Protecting someone. I would give my life to protect someone.
Mm-hmm.
Never been
Anybody?
an issue.
Anybody?
To preserve the freedom of humanity.
The Reich.
Shut up.
I swear. Do you even have a filter?
Listen,
Just
I'm
you-
going to debunk Nazism in one word. No, 3 words.
Have an adapter
Hitler was
for a
vegan.
filter.
No, he was vegetarian, not vegan. Come on, like don't
Okay,
push it.
Hitler was vegetarian. Sorry, my bad.
Don't
My
push
bad.
it, man. It's
Yeah.
a big difference. It's past the tipping
But
point.
he was still willing to serve steak to his friends.
Yeah.
Insert name here,
That's all
sending a
about
He
donation to
highly
the Clinton
discouraged
Foundation.
though.
Ask about their all expenses paid vacations at Epstein's Island.
Where
What about you,
Epstein
Jack?
still exists as a
Client list
cyborg.
still has not
Sleeping
been released yet.
What? Sorry, what?
The
Client
client
list
list, yeah,
still
no.
not been
Well,
released.
Still hasn't been released.
Don't
And they
hold
have
your
it
breath.
all. It's
By
all
the
like
way,
DVDs
Monsieur
and
Boivin, j'avais une question pour vous. I have a question for you, my friend.
Yeah.
How much did you giggle every time they tried to pronounce Ghislaine on the fucking American news? Ghislaine, Ghislaine.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like fucking
Maxwell, yeah,
hilarious,
Ghislaine.
man. Ghislaine,
Ghislaine.
Talis.
Yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine.
It's not even
Yeah.
her family name.
No, it's her first name, moron.
Yeah,
Yeah, his first name that we're starting with.
exactly.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah,
sounds
there you go.
retarded.
There you go. Fucking backlash got it. Hitler wasn't vegan, he was vegetarian. Like saying no that I'm not
I'm
gay.
sorry,
bi.
Justin. Not
Oh,
everyone.
wow. He's calling me out. No, man.
Hey,
Vegan,
Black Lives,
vegetarian,
man.
vegan
We all
is
know
a
the
big
truth
fucking
is.
difference.
We all know the truth is by now.
True,
gay
there is
later.
a difference.
What about you, Jack?
Cheese.
Something you'd
That's
be
the
willing to
difference.
die for?
Cheese.
I'm inclined to say God.
That's
But-
too vague. That's too vague. You have to go.
Yeah,
more
I was gonna
specific.
say, the church.
What one?
Would you die for your father?
Would you
Probably,
have
yeah.
the Father's
Would
a
you
comfort
die
tree.
for a friend?
Probably, yeah.
Would you die for a baby in the road that was about to be hit by a truck, but you could get it out of the way, but by doing so, there's a good chance he'll die?
Oh, we're gonna do that fucking
Yeah.
like shoulder problem now.
No, I'm just saying no.
I'd say faith,
These-
family, and fatherland. In this case,
these are-
fatherland meaning community.
Well, there you go. So these are the ways. These are the ways that you know you are a good person. If you are willing to sacrifice your life for the innocent or for others who, even the wicked, if you're willing to sacrifice your life for a fellow human being, you're all right, and that's what
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah.
There's a great quote I heard once upon a time. You're walking down the street, you see an injured dog, and there's a sign that says, "Help this dog, and I'll give you $2,000." Most people, and there's a camera. Most people are going to stop and help the dog because they want the $2,000. Conversely, you're walking down the street, there's an injured dog, there's a sign in the camera, and the sign this time says, "Help this dog or you go to jail." More people are going to stop and help the dog. You're walking down the street, there's an injured dog, there's no sign, no camera. The good people will help the dog.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
fucking help the dog. Big dog person.
No, I'm just saying, but that's the point, right? That's the point. And this
Am I
is
a good
why I have a
person?
huge problem with communism, because we've all seen the footage from China of people stepping over dead bodies in the street, or stepping over injured children, or stepping over injured animals. Once
Yeah,
we
but
get into the dehumanization of collectivism, we stop the
Well-
goodness
well,
of man.
But
That's
let's
even
be
the
frank.
problem with
Most
China.
fucking people deserve to die,
The problem is with the problem with the Chinese is you would get into trouble if anything happened to that person
Yeah.
if you tried to help them, right? So if you tried to help someone that was hit in the road, you then became responsible for their injuries.
I would like citation on that, please, Justin.
right? No, it's
Look it up.
communism
I'll look for
is
something
really
like that.
something that dehumanize people, right? They're just like because people just become like fucking resources.
Mhm.
You know, I'm openly for feudalism, right? I don't believe that everybody's born equal. I think maybe some people are, and they're not the same. They all have a role to play in society. They all have like a place to be. We need, like, you know, the pyramid.
No.
You have like some people at the base of the pyramid. You have some people at the top of the pyramid, but you need people at the base to support people at the top, right? And so it's not like we have different
I'm
roles.
gonna put a radical thought in your head. Let's not build pyramids.
Mhm.
What about the bee colonies, right? You have the worker, you have the queen.
We're not bees.
We are.
So no, we're not. We are not bees because we have this thing in our fucking heads that allows us to feel. It allows us to understand what someone else is going through. And that is why sociopaths and psychopaths are the greatest threat to the human condition. And it's why it's why the Vikings would send the psychopaths out to raid and kill so that they could come back and be part of the community by getting it out of their system. Because
are you calling me out now?
No. Are you self-identifying as a psychopath or a sociopath?
Yes.
Well, you're not. And I can tell you why you're not a sociopath. Because when you went through all that shit last week, you reached out to many of us and said, hey, man, I completely understand if you want to cut me out and you don't want to deal with me. I get it. I said some shit that could cause problems for you, and I will not take it personally. A sociopath would not do that because a sociopath could not comprehend how someone else would feel. That's what makes them sociopathic.
That's something I talk a lot about. Okay, well, now we can go something about it. It's really linked to role playing game in my mind, right? I do believe in empathy. Of course, empathy is real.
I really like Black Lodge Games, by the way. His comments are fucking tight.
Yeah. Black Lodge Game. I wish he would fucking join the stream because he's a fucking smart guy, but he's a pussy, so he's not gonna join.
Ooh.
I'm just calling you out. Fucking Black Lodge Game.
That's a bingo.
Black Lodge Game. I'm fucking in the comment. I love fucking Matt and Nick. Right. I'm putting the link back in the chat right now. That's just for you, motherfucker. Come on.
No, RPG Grandma. That's just teenagers.
But empathy. Empathy is the core of this hobby that we engage in, right? Empathy is understanding that other people think different than you.
And that's the problem with women. They don't have it.
That is true. But
Justin, quick question: is the government of Ontario paying you for your shitty takes? Because you throw a lot of them out like you're getting a check for them. I'm just asking.
No, you are.
No, you are. That's a great comeback.
No, you're literally the one paying my checks, bro. It says bear on the fucking payment line.
It just says B-A-R-E is because how you hang out at the club. Now, Max, what's
is
your
your
point?
filter adapter in like a size they no longer create anymore? Is that what the deal is?
Like,
no.
I rolled it that. I have empathy. Yeah, like when we say like women don't have empathy, obviously it's not all like like this always fucking like not all X or like that. Yeah, of course some women do have empathy.
Slow down. I'll get you a bigger shovel to dig that hole.
I'm sorry, Grandma. You just don't. You're just pretending.
Fuck. No, what I'm
Don't
gonna
listen
say.
to Justin.
It's true. Okay, listen. I'm gonna tell you that like this way, right straight ahead, if I can speak still. I'm getting drunk, guys. But that's the whole fucking point of the stream. I'm getting drunk. You listen to my rambling. It's like we're at the bar together. But apparently I'm the only one drinking, so that's a problem.
No, you're not. I had some more for the reserve.
All right. Empathy. It's always like this thing. Oh, empathy is different from sympathy. Empathy is understanding that other people think different than you and feel different than you because they have different life experience, they have different values, they have different stuff like that. Sympathy is projecting your own emotion and feeling onto other. When you're dealing with the in-group, right? Sympathy is good enough. It's a good substitute enough for empathy because the in-group people share your value, share most of your experience, share your view, right? Empathy is the sentiment for going to war. You have to understand that the out group is not you. They do think different. So you have to be able to project your mind into somebody else's mind, right? So the thing that women have more empathy than men is not true. Women have more sympathy than men, but when you're dealing with people that are part of the in-group, sympathy is good enough. Men have more empathy than men because men are meant to deal with the out-group. So you have to understand what the enemy and what those other people across the hill are doing. And all
were you in the military, Max?
No, I wasn't.
So, Curtis, you were in the military, right?
Yes.
You went through boot, right?
Yeah.
Do they teach you to empathize with the enemy, or do they teach you to dehumanize them so they're easier to kill?
That's not just dehumanize. You have to utterly hate their every way of life, just completely.
So,
You have
to
to
be an effective warrior, you should either be a sociopath or a psychopath, correct?
Basically.
And the Vikings had that perfected and terrorized the shit out of Europe because they figured that shit out 1,000 years ago.
No, but what about Bear? You're missing the point. What about being?
Your point went on for 30 minutes.
What about being a general? What about like making strategy? You know, like the
Being
art of
autistic
war.
with strategy is not the same.
You have to understand. You have to know the enemy. If you know yourself and you know the enemy,
you don't need empathy to know the enemy.
Yeah, you do not need empathy to know the enemy.
You do. You do. Empathy is understanding all the other. Empathy.
I'm getting a drink, but I can still hear you flinching out.
Okay. Empathy is not sympathy. That's what you understand. Empathy is not like feeling compassion for the other. That's not what empathy is. Empathy
is understanding the way they think.
Understanding what they think, understanding what they feel. You need that if you want to understand the enemy.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that you agree with them. It doesn't mean that you love them. That's not what empathy is.
Okay, I can agree with your logic. The problem is that no general has that anyway because they just get told that by their analysts. So they don't even have that either.
But, yeah,
that's why modern
somebody across the line needs to have that. That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like somebody in the chain of command need to understand what the other is. Like understand how they're gonna think. Understand that, that's what I would do if it was them, but I'm not them. So I need to understand what they would do if they were them, right? That's the difference. That's what I'm saying. Sympathy is saying like, oh, I feel your pain and I understand your pain. That's very good when dealing with the in group. Empathy is saying like, oh yeah, you're this kind of fucker. That thing that dogs are, it's a very different feeling. People need to understand the difference.
Empathy is understanding how someone else feels by recognizing those feelings in yourself.
No, that's sympathy.
Dude, I used to teach this. Sympathy is agreeing with the choices that they have made for their feelings. So I can be empathetic that it was very hard for you to pay your rent this month, but I'm sympathetic when I go, it's okay, you can pay later. That's the difference between the two, and it's a very important part of communications.
What did you used to teach?
Communications.
Where?
Corporate level, C-level.
That's not a place.
I worked for corporations teaching on contracts for 15 years. I worked for Apple as well, by the way. That was one of the companies I worked for.
There you go. Like that, you can aid the enemy, but put yourself into their mindset.
That's not empathy. That's thinking. It is that's tactics and understanding.
That's also the wrong way to predict an enemy movement. You cannot put yourself in their shoes.
But it's not just militarily. It's also
it's not putting yourself in their shoes. Is putting them like it's like projecting their thought pattern. Like it's you have to understand how they think, right?
That's what we pay psychologists to do that for us.
What? Grandma's right. Grandma's definition of empathy is accurate.
What are you doing?
Like, there's no real reason to get pedantic over definitions, even if you're using a word that is.
No, but it matters if we're going to be using it as a basis for understanding other people. We have to understand there is a difference between empathy and sympathy. On that, we can agree. There is a big difference between empathy and sympathy.
This is how Taco Bell won the franchise wars, bro.
I think like Grandma is right on that. So many men I've met think they know what other things. Don't ask them, and they act on their assumption. That is not empathy.
And women don't do that, Grandma. Come on now.
A lot of men are wrong. Like a lot of people think that they know, and they just project their own emotion, and they're just their own pattern of thinking. Like I can look at somebody else and say oh, if I was in that situation, I would do that. But I'm not. Like it's not me in their situation; it's them in this situation, and that's an important distinction.
Okay. So look, here's the best way I can give you what I understand from my work and my life of empathy and sympathy. Just to understand, empathy is saying I can understand how that would piss you off. Sympathy is saying I would have punched him in the face like you did too. That's the difference between the two. One is the understanding, but going, I understand why you feel this way. The other is then saying, I understand why you feel this way, and I would have done the same thing you did. I'm in your shoes. I completely would have done this horrible thing or this good thing or whatever it is I chose to do.
Yeah,
those are the differences.
What is one about like sharing the feeling? One is about understanding the feeling.
Empathy is understanding. Sympathy is sharing. Hence, simpatico. The idea of we are in sync together.
But the thing is, understanding the feeling, you have to remove yourself from the equation in some way. You know what I mean?
Look, dude, it's manipulation of the highest order. This gets okay. We are now getting into basic psychology, and what happens is when we start getting into this stuff, we're going to start getting into places like Edward Bernays, and we're going to start getting into all of the ways that psychology has been used to manipulate people over the last 100 years.
I would have no
century
problem.
itself, as it's been called, and it's a really good point to think about. Go ahead.
I would have no problem taking the being gay time travel problem if I could go back and kill Edward Bernays as a baby.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
I would sacrifice. The Chicago group would never have, if Edward Bernays had never created what he created, the Germans, the Nazis would never have had half the shit they needed to do what they did. And the Chicago group would never have come into existence, and therefore we would not have modern marketing or Madison Avenue as it exists, because those things would not have been.
So
I agree with that. That's the man of a
So the exact same way I feel about Keynesian economics. Gotcha.
Keynesian
I don't understand Keynesian economics well enough to have a comment on that, sadly.
Well, there's not much to understand because it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, look, this is a perfect example of the manipulation of the psychology of humanity to achieve something. You got instant cake mix, add water, stick in oven, cake.
Yep.
It's not selling. It's not selling. It's not selling. So they bring a group of women, housewives, together, and they have a focus group with them. And this is the Chicago group. This is what they do. They sit around, they talk, and they listen. And they hear one of the women say to one of the other women, I don't know, I feel like I'm cheating by not making the cake myself. Boom. Take it back a step. Have her crack one egg and add it to the mixture. This will symbolically in her subconscious represent her giving her eggs to her spouse and providing for her family, her own internal shit. And what happens when they do that? Instant cake mix takes off.
Yep.
Right? So psychology maybe as fake as anyone likes to say or joking around, what have you, but there are provable fucking cases of it being real, and the counterpoints as well that it is not uniform and blanket, which is why Freud said the Irish defy psychoanalysis. And everyone goes, why did Freud say that? Why did Freud say that? Because Freud's contention was anyone else living the misery and shit that the Irish were going through at that period in history would just kill themselves. But somehow the Irish were writing songs and surviving. They defied psychoanalysis. None of his techniques could work on the Irish mindset.
The only thing you need to know about Freud is by reading his children's diaries, which are published.
I've never said Freud was right. I'm just saying Freud created modern psychoanalysis.
Yeah.
Well,
and we built so much on that, right? I'm much more Jungian when it comes down to it, because he made the one valid point, which I believe, which is as long as we allow the unconscious to remain unconscious, it will govern our choices and we will call it fate.
Mm-hmm.
So we must figure out nosce te ipsum, know thyself. Figure out why you do the things you do, why you behave the way you behave, why you react the way you react. And once you can understand what is causing those things, you can either embrace them as strengths or work on them as flaws to be repaired and taken out of your psyche.
Like RPG Grandma say, like narcissistic people like make the empathy sympathy situation all about them. And
yes, they do.
Hey,
yes, they do.
I'm feeling called out now.
Listen, you know you're dealing with a narcissist when you tell them, like grandma was pointing out earlier, when you tell them something that's going on and they compare it to their life, or they try and show you how they have it worse, or it's all about them. And that's why narcissists are the worst fucking... I'd rather deal with psychopaths than narcissists at the end of the day, because at least a psychopath's just going to kill me. A fucking narcissist is going to make me suffer. You know, there's a big difference between the two. But I'd be willing to bet a lot of serial killers were narcissists.
I mentioned earlier, like on the earlier stream. Like,
whatever happened to misery?
I know I have like a narcissistic tendency. I know about them, right? I try to control them, but it's something I have to deal with. And
he's making it all about himself.
I'm making it all about myself.
RPG Dad, by the way, I want to say really quickly, Erin Gobra, I agree with you 100% on that statement. That's a fucking truism if you've ever heard one about the Irish. We are like that.
Yeah. And what I'm about to say as well, I forgot.
That you're a psychopathic, sociopathic, narcissistic, hedonistic, stoist, Randian libertarian?
You're saying I'm not libertarian. Stop
fucking with you, man.
No,
but you say that a lot of like narcissistic people, like you think a lot like serial killer or narcissistic, right?
What's right?
You said that you think a lot of the serial killer.
I say
Or
I
narcissistic.
wonder if a lot of serial killers weren't narcissists. Like I wouldn't be surprised if there was a way to study it and
But
figure out
I'm gonna
how
tell
many
you
of them were
something.
narcissists.
When I watch documentary about serial killer and they talk about their childhood and stuff like that,
Abused.
I feel like I said, like, you know what? That rings a bell. That's how I've been raised.
You know, it's really disturbing. I went down a deep hole on serial killers at the turn of the millennium. Like I just had a job where I could read a lot, so I spent a lot of time reading the crime library online, and it really freaked me out how many two things I noticed that there were common threads in serial killers: abusive mothers, and head trauma. In their youth. It was really weird how many times those things would come up. But I also know from working in the film industry, documentaries have an agenda and an argument to make, so you can't trust them.
No, but like that's what I'm saying. Every time I watch a serial killer documentary,
I mentioned a really great documentary series earlier.
Memory. What?
I mentioned a really great documentary series earlier. Masters of War. Great documentary series.
I have a feeling that's really bad.
It's a series of films that HBO made where they brought in horror directors. They were the masters of their genre to make one. I was in one of them, so Justin keeps poking on it. Basically.
Hey, I liked that series. It was good. I just don't remember the episode you were in, though, at all.
Sociopaths, the sad part about our corporate world is that sociopaths are going up the corporate ladder because they are able to make decisions that affect other people but protect the company. So they're seen as profitable for the companies, and they get promoted and they go up, and eventually they get to the board of directors where you have people at Bayer selling tainted fucking medicine to Africa. You know what I mean? Like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
What Backlash Games here, like most serial killer are attributed to IQ.
I don't know. The Green River Killer would disagree with you, but again, he says most because Robert Pickton was a fucking moron.
But that's I think that's what protected me. If I wasn't if I was low IQ, I'll probably be a serial killer.
What do you mean if you were low IQ?
I'm pretty IQ, Bear. You know that. I'm autistic, but I'm high IQ.
You're certainly the most humble person I've ever met. In fact, you've won the award for most humble, which is quite nice.
Yeah. I created the award, but I still
just saying.
That's why it's biannual.
But yeah, Martin Webb Bernays was his nephew. It was what's her name? Anna Freud was his mother, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was his nephew.
Wasn't like a whole thing about a cousin marriage and that as well?
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was his nephew. Shit, now you got me questioning that. God damn it. Edward.
Wasn't Keira Knightley in the movie?
Which movie?
I don't know.
What the fuck, yeah. Go ahead, Jack. Say something.
All I know about Freud was that he was really gay.
No,
I love that.
Yes, his nephew, because Anna was his mother. Anna was Freud's sister. That's it. So yeah, I'm tired, and I got cousin and nephew and fuck all that shit mixed up. Grandson.
Right.
Well, for you, like you're from Gaspésie, so it's all the same.
I'm not French. You know that, right? You know that like 80% of French Canadians are all related to each other, right?
Yeah.
You know that, right, Mr. Boivin?
Yeah, I know that.
The Quebecois are a giant pool of incest.
Well, you know what? I can tell you, on my father's side, my grandmother and my grandmother and my grandfather were cousins. So,
cow shock.
Yeah,
I was shocked.
But it had a great result in that case. So.
You're not French. You're an incest baby.
You're a flipper child.
On my fingers.
Yeah. They surgically removed the webs at birth and cut off your tail.
I wish they didn't.
I wish they didn't.
Web finger could be useful.
So the villagers could chase you with torches? Is that why?
No.
I would swim away. I would swim away and they wouldn't be able to catch me.
Yeah.
Narcissists also get into politics, Mr. Webb. Narcissists are big on politics.
Man, I think I need to end that.
Oh, no, I agree, by the way. Evil is real. 100%. I will never deny that evil is real. Evil exists. It is a real thing.
Yeah. You can tell somebody's evil when they say they don't like Taco Bell.
But it's usually related to mental disorder as well. Like there's something wrong with their brain.
Yeah.
Therefore, their moral connections aren't really firing,
What do you think? How do you think we solve that?
What?
How do you think we solve that?
How do we solve it?
Yeah.
I don't have that fucking answer, brother. I don't have that answer. Because evil has existed in every institution, every religion, every culture, every community.
I think
there is no solution. There's no magic bullet for it.
Go ahead,
yeah,
Jack.
I think
There's a regular bullet for it.
that's true. That's true. That's
I agree. Burn it out with white phosphorus, damn you! Burn it out
Jack,
with white.
what were you going to say, Jack? Jack, you had a
oh
thought.
the bullet solution is perhaps the final solution if everything else fails.
Don't use that term on
I
this
was
channel.
The final solution is diabetes.
No. I say that half ironically. If nothing else works, then that would be by definition the last option.
No.
But there have been several cases where even like diagnosed. I don't know if it's psychopath or sociopath. I like antisocial personality disorder. I know that's one of them. Or people who like diagnosed of it and went to jail because of things they did because of it, ended up reforming their lives and getting married, usually through religion. There's a guy on YouTube. His name is he goes by Apologetics Roadshow. He usually just debunks Islam, but he is a diagnosed psychopath or sociopath or whatever.
It would have to be psychopath because sociopaths can't learn emotion; they can only fake it.
Okay,
so you're probably a psychopath.
I honestly don't really know the difference.
It's a fine line. There was a period in the 90s where they wanted to take out the term sociopath, and then they had to put it back in because enough people were like, there is a difference between these two things. Psychopaths take pleasure from their behavior. They actually feel it. Like they feel enjoyment from what they do. Sociopaths are incapable of feeling empathy or real emotion. So they do what they do to protect themselves, and they mimic what they see in others.
Yeah. Okay, then it would be the first, but I do think that it is genuinely possible for people with mental conditions that would, in other cases, cause them to do horrible things, usually through religious doctrine. It doesn't have to be, but I think that's the safest bet. Can genuinely reform their lives if they are taught such things correctly.
You see, I'm a big believer in reform because, like, I consider I did reform myself in a lot of way. I still have a long way to go. But I used to be a very violent individual. Like, I love to fucking get into fight. I love to impose my will on other people. Like, like fucking break them. Like you see like this motherfucker like come and get trouble with you, and you fucking show him what's what. Right? Like you fucking like dominate him, and you fucking like crush him, and you're like crush. Like the fucking quote crushing the enemy. And
bro.
That's not psychopathy, but that's not psychopathy. That's something. I hate to break the news to you, buddy, but that's something you're carrying from your past. It's a feeling of power, and you felt unpowerful at some point, and this is how you've learned to feel powerful.
But that's the thing.
Psychopathy would be when you get a fucking hard on while you're doing it.
No, I've been raised in violence,
definitely,
and I was good at it, and I love violence. I love getting into fight. I love fucking this fucking rush when you don't know where it's gonna go for the first few seconds, and then like you dance around with people. You've been a bouncer, you know what it is. You dance around for like a few seconds, and then you kind of know where the fight's gonna go, and fucking go that way, and you fucking like crush the other one.
Yeah,
you like
power.
dominate them. Exactly, it's power. It's fucking.
Yeah. See, so for me, I abhor violence because I don't feel great when I do violence, and that's because I have a ridiculously strong empathic sense of being able to say this like in that moment of peak, yes, I hurt that person, but after I'm going, fuck, man, I hurt that guy. You know what I mean? He didn't come out tonight expecting to get hurt. I certainly didn't want to hurt him, but we've done it. It's done now, and I can feel that. I've never taken pleasure out of a fight in my life. No matter what the situation was, no matter how bad the guy deserved my boot up his ass, I've never taken pleasure from it.
No, I do take pleasure of it, and also I love like this moment. Like there's just like brief instant when you don't know where it's gonna go. I might die right here, right? Like the guy is fucking coming out of you with a broken bottle.
That speaks to a lot of psychological baggage you're carrying. That's all that is. It's just you're carrying stuff from your youth or from your earlier life.
Oh yeah, exactly. From my youth. Exactly.
Maybe,
but
all my damage is related to women. Trust me. Like I can't be trusted to date because I will pick the worst fucking women possible, and I will let them run roughshod over my existence until I finally enough is enough. But so I've learned now, if I'm attracted to a woman, stop talking to that woman.
But they're fun in bed.
That's what hookers are for, buddy. I hate to break the news to you. That's what rub and tugs are for. Go get a happy ending, and you'll feel better for a couple of months.
Bro.
It's not like I've never done that before, man. Just like, anyway, I used to love violence at some point in my life, in my early 30s. I decided, I need to fucking reform myself. Yeah, I did found God. I didn't want all like, you know what? Maybe all my life is shit because I've been living against the rule this time, and like bring back to that.
Well, no,
And
if you found a path of redemption, there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually a good thing.
It's a great thing.
But don't confuse it with healing. That's the danger. And that's why you'll see a lot of relapse in people later in life when the thing stops being enough, because it starts to wear off. And then they go back to the old ways. You have to identify, and this is what Jung was talking about, you have to identify the reasons you feel that way and address them. Then your path to redemption can hold and take root.
I still have the taste for blood sometimes, but
and
maybe sometimes I think like I could like aim it to a righteous cause.
See, that is your unconscious manifesting itself as destiny.
All crusaders justify.
Crusaders were just a way to get the knights to stop fucking raiding their own villages. Don't get silly. Don't put a higher mind on it. It was a bunch of people going, holy fuck, these assholes are killing our own people. I got an idea. What's that? Go take the Holy Lands. Okay.
Man,
not the first
You know, Crusader were mostly Norman, and I got that fucking old Norman blood in me. It's just like
this is why I say the Vikings understood this. The Vikings understood that the psychopaths needed to get it out of their system, and then they would calm down for 6 months. So they would send them out raiding. They'd go kill a bunch of fucking crazy British people, Scottish people, French people, whoever the fuck got in their way, other fucking Vikings, and then come home and be farmers for 6 months, and we're fine. And then they start getting that antsy shit going on. Get them the fuck out of the town, you know?
That's the tragedy of modern life. We don't have like those exutoire.
Well, no, but that's why professional sports exists. Right, so professional sports was created for one simple thing: no, but that's the problem. It was created to suppress the male need for tribal warfare, right? To give us an outlet for it. The problem is intelligent men who see beyond just the kill, they don't fall for the sports shit. It doesn't scratch the itch for them because they see it for what it is: pantomime.
Yeah, exactly.
Right in circuses.
So that's why D&D exists. I agree.
Yeah, exactly. Martin Webb said that. But I do have like this fucking need for like, you know.
What was that, Jack? Sorry.
Oh, I think you're probably right on the money there about D&D.
Yeah, that wasn't me. That was Martin in the crowd. He said it. But that's the thing. D&D is our sport, right? For me, it's a creative function. For Mr. Max, it's a logical function. He likes dissecting systems and getting into the interrelationships of the systems, right? Yeah. I don't know what Justin's into because he never tells us a straight line ever. He just does whatever joke.
No, I just like sitting around the table and telling stories and shit, man.
Well, there you go. So for you, it's a social event. Jack, what is it for you?
I suppose more of a story, like you.
Okay, so you're the more creative side of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like all of it, but
what about you, Curtis? You're still there, Curtis?
English, please.
I'm drunk.
Curtis, you are, because you just went.
Coffee. No, I can say I'm fucking drunk, but that was the point of the stream.
We were drunk. We were talking Morkborg on another stream. Bear,
okay. Yeah,
Bear, and you were like,
"I'm not into that edgelord bullshit."
Yeah. And I was thinking about that. The way you want to run it is like Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
But, you know, instead of Ash, you got to live with the consequences of the Book of Dead.
Yeah. But let's look at it from a different point of view, right? Take your average Iron Maiden fan, okay, versus the Iron Maiden musicians. Think about that for a second, right? Okay. They are making music that speaks to their soul. It speaks to their inner being. It's something they're to put a religious bent on it. God is speaking through them through their music, or they are speaking to God through their music. Right? That is what creation is.
Yeah.
The average fucking Iron Maiden fan is a dumbass, fucking angry, fucking goofy teenage boy who wants to smoke cigarettes, get into fights, and hates his parents. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference. So Morkborg can be used for what you're saying, and if that's how you do it, fantastic. Yep. But 90% of the people I've seen talking about Morkborg on the internet are just, it's really edgy. You know, it's like fucking grow up.
They're actually just reading a quote off the back of the book.
More than likely.
There's a lot of things like there's a disconnect between like what the thing is made for by the creator and what the people that enjoy it. You know. I don't know Berserk. I'm big into Berserk, the manga.
Yeah. Berserk.
Fuck, I need to fucking end this fucking stream because I can't talk anymore. I'm big into Berserk, the manga.
Yeah.
And
That was a good character.
I think it has good character, good storytelling. Like there's something deeper in the manga and stuff like that. But some people are just like, "Oh, big sword, you kill monsters, it's cool."
Because they
Like,
missed the point of who Guts is. Guts is a
Exactly.
child of trauma. He's a child of death, right? He was
Yeah.
sold to other mercenaries by Gambino when he was a boy. And
Yeah.
now he has two things that he will do. He will never be weak again or let anyone put him down again, and he will die for his chosen family.
And I see myself a lot in that.
And that's Al gave the quote about the water. The full quote is, the water of the womb is thicker than the blood of battle is thicker than the water of the womb.
Yeah, that's bullshit, Howard macho crap. I hate that stuff.
Well, no, it's about
macho,
your chosen family being
Yeah.
No, and I get that, but you understand how. Okay, so again, let me rephrase. Sorry.
You said you
Not,
right,
it's not
let me
the
quote
message
somebody.
that I disagree with.
Wait,
It's
wait,
how
wait,
I
wait,
see it
Becca.
interpreted. Sorry, what was that?
Let me quote somebody that say, "Play uncle, the best uncle, because they don't want you to choose." You said that, Bear.
What did I say?
Play uncle or the best uncle because they're the one you choose.
Yes, play cousins, not play uncles. Play cousins.
Play uncle, play cousin, right?
Play cousins, yes. Play cousins are my real family.
Yeah.
So when I say to someone, I love you like a play cousin, that means you're the family I've chosen.
It's the same thing with the blood of the battle.
Yes,
It's like
but there's a difference between
me
me saying play cousins are the best cousins because they're the cousins you choose, and the blood of battle is stronger than the water of the womb. Because an idiot's going to take that statement and go, yeah, kill, maim, destroy. They're not going to take my statement and go, yes, absolutely. Punching people in the face is the better way to do it, as long as I'm doing it with my buddy.
No, it's bleeding together.
Yeah.
Exactly. Curtis, you had your hand up. What do you want to say? Since Max is drunk, I'll be the moderator.
The message was great. The fans are insufferable.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's like I've always said, it's not Jesus I had the problem with, it's his fans. Right? I've always said that since I was in college. It's not Jesus that was the problem. It's the way people took his words and twisted them into horseshit to do atrocious things. And there's that line in Firefly, nothing more dangerous than a man who thinks he's right with God.
Oh, wait. I had a comment on screen there I wanted to address and I didn't get to.
You're so drunk.
This is why you're not allowed to have turkey, bro. Wild or otherwise.
Oh, it's not
comment.
I'm having like this like Niagara whiskey, 40 Creek.
What was the contact? The contact sports are the way to channel violent behavior?
Thank you for reading for me. Contact sport, the way to be changed. Alright, that was a joke. Contact sport are a way to channel violent behavior. Yeah, but it's too fake a way. You know, there's those rules and stuff like that. You cannot, like, you know, there's something when you're in a real fight where everything goes right. There's no rules. You don't know. Is he gonna use something from the environment? Is he gonna attack my small joint? Is he gonna poke my eye? Something like that. There's something in a real fight that
is he going to call in artillery?
And this is why I say. This is why I say one guy on each team of all organized sports should have a chainsaw.
Volleyball, very interesting, sir.
Fuck yeah.
I'd actually watch it. Wow.
That's a satirical remark, Bear.
I know, Justin. That's why my sarcastic reply came to it.
Oh, man, I think I need to wrap that up because I'm fucking drunk.
Yeah, you are. You are.
I hate to admit. I'm very glad you gonna come on. I love you guys.
Yeah, okay, let's not go there, play cousin.
Can you do the ending for me, please?
The ending? Yeah, sure. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. We've come to no conclusions about anything, but we all believe what we believe clearly, and that's what matters more than anything else, is that we can discuss it as human beings and not hate each other afterwards. Thanks for hanging out. It's been really fun. Je m'appelle Max Boivin. I am the greatest of all time. Conan is my godfather.
Godfather.
Feel better?
Yeah. Thank you for everybody that joining live. Thank you for if anybody watched that afterward. I recon you don't, but now it's too late to say. I Have a good night, guys, and everybody. Thank you for everybody that joined. It was fun talking to you guys. And just, I do the stream. It's like hanging out with buddies.
You asked Bear to do this, man. Why are you doing it?
It's
What?
He's on a roll. Let him go.
Man, to be honest, I just moved. I'm fucking tired moving shit around. I couldn't eat well in the last fucking few days because I have like no appliance and shit like that. So booze got to me much faster than it usually does. But I needed to have a time to hang out with buddies.
There's no
my
Putin?
friends. What?
There's no Putin?
Yeah, it was a great time. I came on here to.
Like, we talk about Putin.
You came here to accuse us of heresy. That's what you did.
No, I didn't come here to accuse you of heresy. I came down to clamp down on heresy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stayed
All I
'cause
heard
it
out of
was-
your mouth was
it was a great time.
heresy.
There's something to understand
Here's
too
the
as
beauty
well.
of it all, Jackie. I'm not a heretic because I'm not Catholic. I'm a blasphemer. It's much better. I get to be blasphemous.
There's also something to consider about like heresy in the Catholic mouth.
Okay, no, Max, you have to go. You're drunk. You need to go, buddy. You're going to get into a 20-minute debate on heresy, and we're going to suddenly start talking about Warhammer 40K.
Again.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was
praise
going
at the
for.
end of a
Let me get
pulpit.
in my mind. When we say heresy in the Catholic Church, it's not the same as in Warhammer 40K. It's not like right away you need to be exterminated or stuff like that.
It's pronounced
Heresy.
exterminatus.
Heresy is a mistake that need to be corrected, but we're welcoming you back into the fold if you're wrong about that belief. That's actually what the faith says. It's not a condemnation, right? People make it too much, make too much out of it. So when we say heresy, don't fucking go like, what? You call me a heretic?
Yeah.
We're not gonna fucking burn you on the stake right away.
Right away. we got to build the fire up first.
We got to get the black robes back from the dry cleaners. We got to make sure we've got the right incense and the censors, Max.
Because Mr. Max gonna try to stream
Maybe at least 20, 30 minutes.
I'm gonna fucking back down on my bed, I guess.
All right, I'm going to bed. Love y'all like play cousins. Be good, be bad, don't be sad.
I'm
Going
gonna
on,
go
everyone.
now as well. Like, Max go to bed before you end up on X again blasted. Yeah, man. Like, well, that's gonna happen. I'm gonna get an X being blasted again because that's who I am.
Max.
I gotta get on there.
Di bonsoir, Max.
X.
Make sure to follow me, Jackie. I think you're gonna like what I'm putting out there.
I'm going to follow you 100%.
Say goodnight, Max.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you
Click
for
on the
joining
little end
everybody
stream
that joined
button.
live. Thank you for everybody that watched on the replay. And
You already did that.
especially thank you for everybody that joined me on the panel there tonight. That was a fucking disaster.
Click
I'm
end
sorry.
stream, Mag. Click end stream.
You've been ending the
I
stream
see
for
my
20
cursor.
minutes now.
Bye.